I see a flag on your. We're live and ripping. Ho! Look out! Herp! Hope! How's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer Show podcast. Today is Monday, the 13th of February. Show number 529, and with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. I assume Holy Crap at Sports later today?
Later today.
Because a lot of stuff to talk about after the game. We'll talk about the game a lot today, by the way, Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff, and related things. And we're at the Mechanical Manglers Flounder at the controls here at El Condo Flounder with Kitty Cat. Hello, everybody, and we're on YouTube live, and we're also on Rumble. If you are listening, I guess you'll be listening on Rumble or YouTube, whatever. Anyway, go to Rumble and the Kimmer Show podcast on Rumble. Good to have board. How was your weekend, Pete? Find a place to live?
No.
Oh. Well, now, see, I didn't jinx you last week, so not that one. What happened?
I'm going further north. I'm going mountains now. I'm
God.
talking Blue Ridge, baby. I'm going up there.
Do you really want to? I mean,
yes, I'm going to get the hell away from Atlanta.
Well,
and Alpharetta and all this crap.
Yeah, and Roswell. I mean, it's unbelievable. Well, if you've been looking at Alpharetta, the cones, the plates, the orange. I mean, it's unbelievable.
All the Florida drivers.
Yeah. Oh my God! So you're going up into the
I only
Blue
come
Ridge.
down here twice. I'm up like a prospector now.
Yeah.
I'll take the mule and come down to the city for provisions.
As long as you have shopping center or mall or someplace near to go to drive to, right?
Yeah. There's a Kroger in
Or
Hiawassee.
mom and pop stores even better for that probably.
I'll survive on boiled peanuts.
You should actually talk to Rhino because Rhino lives in Hiawassee.
Yeah, I don't want to go that far, but I may.
I mean, again, in that
Ridge
area in Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge is a little closer.
Well,
than that.
if you find a place and you know what I'm paying for rent, you find any
It's all
real
cheaper up
great
there.
deals.
It's all cheap. You get a whole house with like land around it for what you're paying now,
Yeah,
or
then I
less,
have to take
or
care
less.
of it, too. Yeah.
Less. No, most of these places take care of it for you.
Yeah. Well, anyway, just a word to the wise.
There's
Although
one that
I
has
got
a-
the stable. I still go to the stable, so that's I got.
I'm looking at one tomorrow that has a trout stream running behind it.
Oh, cool. When I was retired down in Florida, I belonged to a couple of different country clubs with my brother, who was a PGA pro. Anyway, and so we played golf. But I had two horses down there. I'd ride one in the morning, and then I'd play golf, and then I'd come in the afternoon and ride Jack, the good boy. And after I played golf 4 or 5 times a week, I'd have 2 fishing poles in the car and fishing gear, and I'd take those 2 poles already baited with the rubber worms and with the cracking, whatever they call things. And I'd go to all those canals right there on the golf course. In the golf course, where I'd pull over, and I caught fish every day and throw them back, but 2-3 pounders, just nice, good sized bass, and had more fun. God, that was fun. I love to just sit there and just fish and let them go. I have no interest in eating them or anything. And plus, who would want to eat out of those canals?
We have
really.
Yeah, we have some people already tuning in here.
Oh, good.
And let's see. Stan goes, I thought Pete was 60. Can you get Social Security that early? And
62, aren't you?
Crazy says, Pete has connections. And Scotty says, there's no cell signal in Blue Ridge, Davis. Are you trying to make me go even further?
Well, don't even, yeah. Now, actually, you're
I don't
62,
care.
right? Will be.
No, I'm not 62. You're like my mother. It's
thought
so
you-
close, it's pitiful. She was always trying to age us. No.
Well, then how can you sign up for Social Security?
You have to
be
do it before you
62.
get there.
Yeah, but not 5 years before you get there or something. Now, you're 61, right? You'll be 61.
No, I'll be 62 in March.
Oh, okay, that's what I said. You'll be
I
62.
don't look 60.
Well, who does?
I don't look at age over 58.
When do you get to be my age, mister? In fact, I'm going to ask an age-related cultural question coming up with Flounder in our little history note here shortly. Anyway, let's set the stage. It's Monday. The Super Bowl is yesterday. We do have some things in the news, and it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. So here I've got a couple quick announcement things. Talk about weekend stuff. Flounder, how was your weekend? Anything unusual or interesting or weird or whatever?
Pretty uneventful, just the way I liked it. Caught up on some sleep and
I took 2 naps myself this
a
weekend.
lot of laundry. And then I went over to my dad's to watch the first half of the Super Bowl, quick story. I thought once the halftime happened, I thought the game was over.
Yeah, really?
I just thought the
Yeah.
momentum was with Philly.
Philadelphia looked like they were
because
gonna
they missed
kill 'em.
that, and again, we'll talk about it later. But they missed the field goal in his leg and his ankle, so I was like, "This isn't good."
It's the ball game, yeah. Well, plus you're getting up at 2 in the morning. I assume you didn't stay there until 11 o'clock last
Hell
night
no.
at your father's
No,
house.
no.
Yeah.
You have any questions for the kicker? My as I mentioned earlier, my nephews are good friends with him. They're going to see him at a wedding this weekend. So,
outstanding.
yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll
I
talk.
said the first thing you should go up to him is go up to him and go, doink.
Upright left. Oh, heartbreaker. Plunk.
But he made the important one, so.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway, excuse me. We'll talk a lot about the Super Bowl and the halftime and the national anthem. And, I mean, there's a whole bunch of things about it. And the tears. I mean, God almighty. And the heart attack guy. There's like 9 different things that have nothing to do with the game that are very, very important. And also the NFL and everything else. So we'll do a lot of that very soon. Also, Valentine's Day is tomorrow as we speak. And and today, by the way, is Desperation Day, and we'll talk more about that and what we're doing. First of all, a couple of housekeeping things. We are definitely doing a second show this week. Will be on Wednesday as we speak. This is Monday. We'll do a Wednesday show instead of Thursday this week. Just to let you know, we'll do the second show.
Really?
Because he's going to be out of town. Aren't you going out of town? We
Yes.
talked about this, mister.
I forgot.
Well, now you remember. Anyway, we're doing a Wednesday show this week, and then
Better
that's a
remind
scoop.
me again.
I will remind you again. Also, let's see. Flounders showed me how to put videos on YouTube. My horse videos on YouTube. I think.
Yes. So,
we'll
and again,
try-
we're all kind of new to this. So once Kimmer gets comfortable,
And
then
I'll
he'll
check with
start.
you after the show today to
Yep.
make sure I know how to do it. But I'm
Yep.
going to start putting horsey videos on YouTube.
Right.
And again, tell your friends to go to Rumble. We're no longer Facebook killed us, so we're now on Rumble. So if you want
And
to,
I'll send a couple posts today on our Facebook page.
Great.
Send them the link.
Also, if you go to PayPal and patreon.com/Kimmer Show, just send us a little something to keep the show going. That'd be great. Venmo's our favorite thing. Just put your phone up there, click the Venmo thing, and you can make a donation that way. In fact, our friend Judith W. sent us a very nice donation, quote, for the laughs. So now we got to be funny. From pressure. Kason. What a great name. Cason. Kason. Kason or Kason.
I thought you said Kason.
Don't know if it's a male or female. I think it's a guy, but I don't know why.
Korean?
I don't know. Last name did not seem Korean. Last name starts with H. Kason or Kason. A very nice donation saying, sorry I can't do more at this time. Also, if you go subscription, I will pay. Love you guys.
Yeah.
And we're talking about it because we we have thousands of listeners, but only a few hundred subscribers who send us some money. So we're trying to make sure we can actually make a couple of grand a year or something. Also, speaking of contacts, a very nice note here from Larry, who said, hey, people complain about I got my old man stories and I just tell those stupid things and everybody makes fun of me. Hey, Kimmer, the story about how you almost got to talk to Frank Sinatra was awesome. It tops all the others about people you've met. Hey, he was entertainer of the century. Getting mowed down by Jilly was worth it. Larry in Snellville. And again, it was at the Navy Pier in Chicago. It was the 50th anniversary of Navy Pier, I think, or something. They had a big
You're
festival.
going to tell the story again?
No, but people listen every minute of every show. My God! So anyway, Frank Sinatra was a special guest thing, and everybody, Sinatra's mom. So I show up with a camera crew for ABC, and I'm trying to get home. I'm saying, Mr. Sinatra, and it says bodyguard Jilly, kind of elbowed me in the gut and shoved me out of the way to get Mr. Sinatra. Oh, thank you, appreciate it. Anyway, that was my story, and now it's done. See how easy that was. How quick was that? Let's see what else we got here. A weird update on over the weekend on Facebook. My friend Mike Summers I used to work with, and I've known him for 50 years. I worked here in Atlanta for a little while with him too. Anyway, radio guy, and one of the cleverest, strangest sense of humor guys I've ever known. Very dry, weird sense of humor, satirical sense of humor. And he sent me a picture he'd found going through his spring cleaning stuff yesterday from when we were working in radio together in about 1973 or 4. And I was the news director, program director, or the operations manager, news director, and morning guy. And then my afternoon guy was a guy named Len King. One day I'm on the air, in the studio, on the air, and Len comes in behind me. I didn't know what he was doing, and he had his camera with him, and I didn't know what he was doing. And then later on, I found out he had taken a picture of my bald spot, of my head, of my bald spot. And inside the bald spot, he superimposed a picture of me, of just my face, of me smoking a Lucky Strike for some reason. And he put it in the picture of the bald spot. And it was just the weirdest looking thing. And it was from the old radio days, almost literally 50 years ago. And so I put that on Facebook or on the internet, and we heard from my old boss from those days, who hired me out of Atlanta. I was here in Atlanta in 1972, and I came here a few years, and then he hired me because of what I was doing here in Atlanta. Anyway, so that was to explain it. It was just he did it as a weird thing. And this guy Len King was so strange. He was married to a beautiful little Delta
Len
Stewart.
King.
Len King.
Oh, King.
And he was a weird guy. He came in when he had a goatee mustache and beard like you have. And one day he came in and he had shaved off half of it, just one side of his face. So that's the kind of. Anyway, so that's an explanation of that weird. Because that's what he did. So he went around for a while with half a mustache and half a beard, and you have to imagine people look at him from the side and then see him walking the other way. I mean. But if you saw him at the store or something, would you go up and, excuse me, sir, I happen to notice with half your
Was there a fire?
I mean, I don't know. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. A quick thing. A quick question. I want to talk Valentine's Day stuff, and just briefly, and then we'll go right into all the Super Bowl stuff, and then we'll do a whole thing. But firstly, I got this this morning. I can't freaking believe this. I got it this morning, and I took a picture of it on my phone, and it says when I'm doing work and I'm listening to the app on 106.3. And the radio station, our link, and talk with you guys, everything else. I usually have my phone on charge. If it's less than 80%, I have the charger on. So I'm in these stuff and doing my work, and I plug in the charger, and up flashes this sign on my phone. I shall read it to you. Charging on hold. Charging will resume when iPhone returns to normal temperature.
So you're overheating.
What the hell is that?
It means your phone was overheating.
From what?
It's what do they call that? When you get to 50? Menopause?
Hot flashes?
Yeah, menopause.
I had that when I had my chemotherapy for my cancer. I remember I was did you ever see me in the studio when I had my hot flashes? It was mostly just, way, no offense. But I had the horrible, hot flashes, just like a girl in menopause, take the varnish off a chair. But have you ever seen that on your phone?
Nope.
Flounder, have you ever seen that on your phone? Have you ever heard of anything like this?
No, there's a setting now sometimes when your phone is almost 100% charged, it'll stop and just charge the rest of it at a later time for some reason. But again, I'm not sure. I've never seen that.
Overheated? From what?
Maybe your phone was internally overheated. Maybe something was...
But again, I've never, if anybody knows about this, I've never
live
heard...
in the sun.
No, it's never. It was overnight in my bedroom, and it was this morning at 6 o'clock. I'm doing 5:30 this morning.
Nothing was overheating in your bedroom.
Well,
we know that
for sure. It is Valentine's Day, and it's of course next week is Asian Cheerleader Night, but that's I don't want my fan club section anyway. Okay. So I don't know what that is, and I don't like it.
Rocco says, I enjoyed that Sinatra story back in '98.
Well, that story was from about 1983, by the way, for the record. It might have been 85. I don't know. Anyway, okay, this is Desperation Day, or I think, what is it on Parks and Rec? She called it Gallication. What is it? Galentine's Day.
Yeah.
I think wasn't that the day before or the day? I don't remember. Anyway, so this is Desperation Day, they call it. Now, as you know, some guys like us, for example, have a basic theory that if you're looking for love and you're looking to get a girlfriend, you never think about it until after Valentine's Day, and you have the period between Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is really the very basic beginning. Up until you don't worry about Mother's Day so much. You can go through Valentine's Day up until October. After middle of October, all of a sudden you've got Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and all those other things. Between mid-October and Valentine's Day, you shouldn't be trying to find a girlfriend because you're going to be all the family, all the new. Oh God,
money.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm thinking as of the 15th. We should make an announcement. We're live on YouTube. Are we live on YouTube right now? Right. We got Rumble. Now, can you hear us on Rumble? So we're all good. We should be opening auditions for Kimmer Show Podcast Girlfriends.
Open auditions.
I mean, As of starting Wednesday.
Like they send videos or something, or
just an easy, an interest, a little tweet of some kind, maybe
Photo?
a video, a photo, and maybe a
Photo?
question mark, or you mean me, or whatever. I don't know. Just a little. We'll see what happens. Where we could be, because as far as I know, now you're so secretive. You might have a wife and 4 kids, for all I know. But generally speaking, founder Gesundheit, by the way. Now you're not with that girl you met at the store, though. So you're okay. Now, Pete, are you involved with anybody right now? Seriously?
I plead the fifth.
Oh my God!
No,
You son of a bitch! We don't know what you do. You don't tell anybody anything.
It's private.
God. Well, no, it's not private. You're on a podcast. You have to tell everything. We have to tell personal stuff.
Where do
Oh
they
my
send
God!
these
He's got a
pics
freaking
to?
girlfriend, you bastard.
Where do they send these pics to?
Well, I don't know. TheKimmerShow.net. I mean, I don't. Or Rumble. No, you can't do pictures on Rumble. Only videos.
Only videos. Well, no, please don't send videos.
I don't know. Anyway, it was just a thought. Now, and by the way, just for the record, I'll say 2 things about me that I think are important in terms of the truth is, and of course, I can't get a girlfriend, but if I were in fact looking for a girlfriend, and all the days when I was, aside from I'm a leg man, stuff like that, but basically, when I was looking for a girlfriend, the one thing I think more than anything else that attracted me to a potential girlfriend was if she was happy.
Happy. Yeah.
Happy.
Yeah, happy in what she's doing. Yeah. That's a big thing.
Easy to smile, was friendly with others, kind of, when she walks in a room, people say, oh, here's so, and just happy. People liked her.
Happy
She
with
had
her
a
life.
positive thing. She was okay with herself, she wasn't in the corner wondering who's after her, just happy. A sense of humor, laugh at your jokes, because the way. And my old thing, years ago, I used to have a rather quick sense of humor, and if I could get a girl laughing just when you first meet her or something, that's a huge step. Anyway, so the happiness thing factors to me. So that's the first thing I would look for in a potential girlfriend. I think, so a happy person.
Rocco, 70-something-year-old crank looking for love.
Well, here's and since he brought it up, my only selling point is this. My only selling point, because obviously for me to find a girlfriend,
You're alive.
I've got to go to some old folks home, or go to some senior citizens area, with a seniors only kind of deal. And now here, my one selling. Okay, we know what I look for is happiness and basic happy person. But my one selling point is, ladies, I can still drive at night. That could be big.
Hey.
So you got that going for you.
I got that going for me, which is nice. Pete, we're going to go talk about the Super Bowl here in a second, and a lot more about Valentine's Day. Yes. But just briefly, and let's pretend now. So you obviously have some kind of girlfriend you're messing
Not
with right now.
necessarily.
Well, if she's listening, she knows the rule. When you're on the podcast or on the radio, you cannot be concerned with whether some girl you're involved with might get her feelings hurt if you're talking about some reality thing that we're discussing.
Everybody knows the
Okay,
rules.
now I was looking for. I'm a leg man, but that's got nothing to do with it. Happy girl is very attractive. Do you have a basic thing that attracts you instantly, that you always get a basic denominator?
Face and boobs.
Face and boobs? You're a boob guy.
Yeah.
No kidding.
face and
Now, are you a
boobs.
boob guy? Now, see, I'm not. I've never been a boob guy. Couldn't make no
more for
difference
me.
to me. But now, are you a boob guy by shape or just with the big boomy bazookas?
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, to me, a great.
They're the perfection of form and function.
Okay, all right.
It's proof of a God. The female form is proof of God. It's perfect.
It's right.
And they're not all the same shape, and they all move different ways.
Right.
When they move differently, everything moves differently. It's beautiful.
Okay, but I mean, are you the kind? When people see, like the girls and the dancers in The Sopranos with all the big rubber bings and they're just
No, I don't like
enormous.
rubber bings.
Is that attractive
No.
because they're just big boobs?
No, I don't like rubber.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, have you ever felt a pair of fake tits before?
Well, absolutely.
It's like putting
It's like
your
filling up the furniture.
it's like putting your head on someone's shoulder.
Put your
Well,
head on my shoulder.
It's like the old days when
It's just
when your
hard.
grandparents
It's-
used to have the plastic material over the couch.
And the other thing is usually when women have a breast job, they lose the sensation in their nipples.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, then
All right, we're getting in the weeds here a little bit.
All right, now Founder,
Starting to get
I
turned
mentioned
on.
happiness. Pete is a face and boob guy. What about you? When you have expectations of something, that automatically, kind of consistently, you say, "Oh my, this is cool." We're hitting the bell already. One more,
we're
last
being
one,
asked.
last one.
I'll agree with Pete. I'm a kind of a boob guy. Boob's an ass, obviously. You like
I'll be damned.
you like having I like a nice, good figure. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
all right. Well,
And then
buxom,
Rubenesque.
again, the other thing is especially me being single and dating is you got to have some chemistry when you meet. If there's nothing there, it's just nothing's going to happen.
You should have to work for it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
We're past the point of working for it. Come on. Either you enjoy each other's company pretty
exactly.
quick, or
Yeah.
okay, let's move.
Yeah, no mess around. Okay, now we'll talk more about things like that a little bit.
Put out or not?
Just for the record.
Is this going to happen? Or?
Is this gonna happen?
And if she
This
puts
is your
out,
second drink.
she's
I'm
not
buying
for
you,
me.
So.
You know, it's funny. I sent you this. Have you got this?
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
Okay. This is Steve Taylor, the great former CBS 46 sports guy. Steve Taylor, you know him
Yeah,
if you saw
yeah.
him and everything. Great
Yeah.
cornhole.
Yeah.
Steve put this out there. It's basically when you get a line from a woman, and then Steve has translated what it actually means when she says it to you.
I know. Yes.
So you going to do the line or the translation there?
I'll do the line. I'll let
What
you
she
do the
really means.
punchline.
What she really means.
Okey-doke.
He's going to do the line she tells you, and I'll tell you what she means.
All right. You deserve better.
I deserve better.
We're too alike.
You bore me.
You just don't get me.
I just don't want you.
I'm not ready for the real thing.
This is not the real thing.
I love you like a friend.
You don't really turn me on.
Now wait a minute. Are you the girl or the guy?
No, I'm the girl. I'm telling you exactly what I mean as the lady.
I was going to say, I know, but guys are never that honest. You know, guys never say things like, well, you know, it's, with you, guys are never that honest with girls.
All right, here's
Pretty
one.
funny answers either
Here's
way,
one
though.
that's kind of guys.
that?
All right, here's a good one. I need space.
I want to get far, far away from you.
I need to focus on my career.
I'm crushing on a coworker.
I wish it could have worked out between us.
I wish I didn't have to have this conversation.
I don't want to hold you back.
You're a drag.
We're just at different points in our lives.
You're beneath me.
My feelings for you are so intense they scare me.
My feelings for you are totally non-existent.
I just got it. I was so backwards on this. He's reading the comments that she told the guy, but you're reading what she really meant. It's not
correct.
that he was telling her and what she heard. Okay. So that makes a lot more sense
lot
because
more
guys
sense.
would never be that honest.
We said
with
in
a
the
girl.
setup.
I need more space. The guy would say, "Hey, let's go get in Iraq again." You know, I need more space. I need more sex. You know, maybe I don't like you, but that doesn't mean I. Oh my God. Mercy. Oh God. Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I'm not getting all coughed up here today. Okay. Coming up, we're going to talk next about the Super Bowl, the game, the pregame, the post things, the ragged old flag, the salute, the crying, the black national anthem, the regular white national anthem. I guess they're separated now. The one after another of the ads, what it meant, all the stuff. A million things about the game itself and the refs and the thing. Yeah.
Blaine, how did we get here?
Anything could happen, my friend. But first, a message from one of our longtime double sponsors, Wise RV Glass, W-I-S-E, Wise RV Glass. These are the folks. This is a great idea. In fact, we just got a really nice kudos and support from one of our longtime podcast listeners who says he used them, had a great experience.
Great.
I can't remember the name. Scotty Effin somebody. It's the Effin Doogie Effenhauser. Doogie, remember he sent us an email. Remember about that? Doogie Effenhauser is what he wrote. Used Wise RV Glass. And here's the deal: if you have an RV or a motor coach, a camper, things like that, any kind of a glass issue that's wrong, maybe a chip in the rear view mirror or a side view mirror, one of those hard to find one-piece flat front windshields, or maybe fogged up double pane windows. I mean, whatever it is, the chip, a spider web, whatever. Anything with your glass issue, Wise RV Glass will fix it for you by coming to you. I love the TV commercial where people have to drive for a couple hours trying to find someplace. Wise RV Glass will come to you to save you time and money. All mobile, all of North Georgia, all of Metro Atlanta. No job too small or too big, of course. But and you're thinking, oh, the side view mirror, what am I? No. Listen what they do. They love working for you, and they come and take care of business. Here's a phone number for Wise RV Glass. Area 470-345-6521. And on the web, wiservglass.com. By the way, I'm pretty damn proud of myself for remembering the name, because the name thing with my between the brain and the tongue isn't working. So, so within like 15 seconds, I remembered it. I'm pretty proud of myself. I got to be honest with you. I have very low standards. In fact, I was thinking this morning, one of the dumbest things in the world. I have these stupid things in my head. I realized this morning how much I thoroughly enjoy and can't wait for the instant when I walk into a very hot shower. When I get my, I do my thing, I get the shower going, and I put it where I want to go. It's a shower stall, a glass stall. So I put the thing on, and then I go usually weigh myself because it takes 15 seconds for the water to get hot. And then I get over there, and I get in there, and I think, oh boy, here we go. And I get into that almost scalding hot shower, and it's just like, I'm getting chills just thinking about how much I enjoy that. Sorry, that's over. Okay, so little things. I'm doing. It's the positive Kimmer. It's the new
Winter Kimmer.
It's taking advantage of the little things that make life so full.
Because that's all you got.
That's all I got. I got nothing.
Might as well revel in it.
I might as well revel in the nothingness I have.
You'd like to share that experience with the
plunges down the rabbit hole. It's all good.
As Cindy says, the little things in life.
Thank you. Okay, Super Bowl. I don't even know where you want to start. Let's not do the game first. First of all, did you have any reaction to any pregame? Did you watch a lot of pregame stuff? The Larry Zonka on the Perfect Team narration of the stuff.
I fell asleep.
Johnny Cash's ragged old flag. Did you see that?
I saw that, and that everybody stopped, and that was very well. They've done it before, but it was very well done.
Yeah. No, were you with your family, sister's family still? All right. So, did you? So did you? You didn't have any reaction to anything particular pregame type stuff?
No, some of the commercials were lame pregame.
Yeah,
and
I got a whole. We'll do
right
a bunch
when they went
of
to
those.
the broadcast booth, Greg Olson's grabbing his crotch, adjusting himself. That was a good look.
Yeah, that's not so good. Flounder, did you have any reaction to any pregame?
It's
type
pretty
stuff?
ridiculous that they start the pregame at like 10 a.m.
Yeah. Well,
the game's at 6:30. It's like, how much can you really talk about?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's why I didn't watch. I kind of watched a little bit off and on. I did see shortly before the game. I took some notes here. The salute to the EMTs, and then they brought.
I thought
in,
that was cool that we actually got to see Damar Hamlin.
And then Damar Hamlin showed up, and the crowd went nuts, and I was getting emotional myself. And then, okay, here comes the grumpy old man part. Okay, I'm happy for the guy. I mean, I really am. Okay, here's a guy making $8 million a year, professional athlete playing a sport for millions and millions of dollars. Well, we'll have family money. Well, whatever. I mean, he's a rich professional athlete, and he had a heart attack and lived. And he's fine, and he's already up and around and going to Super Bowl and stuff like that. God bless him. I'm happy for him, but. Isn't that a little? Are we overreacting to all of this? I don't know. It just seems that
It's
all
the
the
NFL.
people.
Everybody's captivated by the NFL, no matter what happens.
But it's such bullshit. I mean, the guy was a professional athlete in the better shape in his life than anyone in the history of man, and he had a heart attack and lived. And he's doing great, and he's out and about at the freaking Super Bowl, and he won $9 million for his to help the little children of Rochester, New York, or something, or whatever. God bless him.
All right, his net worth, he's not even worth $1 million.
Well, okay, but
he's
still,
not a star.
I don't get it. I mean, how many people, really need help who, I don't know. It just seems like and frankly, the whole business about saluting the flag with the NFL, I was getting offended after a while. Who are these people? This is bullshit. The NFL doesn't care about saluting the flag in America. I mean, so, who are they trying to kid? I mean, honestly,
would you rather him kneel?
What?
Would you rather him kneel? At least they were honoring the flag. I mean,
okay. See, I knew I shouldn't say. I know I can't even say anything. Especially with I'm just telling you. At some point, I'm thinking to myself, where were you back in the It's just like this.
You're never satisfied.
No, it's not.
You're like everybody that was on Facebook when Rihanna came out. She didn't open her mouth, and all the old fogies were on there bitching about her.
Don't get ahead of me. Don't get ahead of me. Don't get ahead of me. Anyway, no, it's not that. It just seems to me it's like when the NFL was caught having to pay to have patriotic halftime show stuff. They weren't going to do it unless they got paid for it. Yeah. So you don't think? I mean, to me, with my life and my background and everything else, to me, it got to the point where I'm a little cynical about it. Okay, now everybody else, I'm just saying where I am, and I'm a baby boomer, and I'm a Marine, and all of a sudden it's just I'm just saying at some point. Bing bong. Now, okay. But God bless him on a heart attack. I'm happy for him and everything else. Now, let me ask you this. Okay, we're going to talk about the black national anthem, the white national anthem, and the coach crying. Okay, first the black national anthem, and there was a lot of reactions to it. Mary wrote in and said, "Gee, imagine if we had a national anthem for all Americans." Oh, we do. The Star Spangled Banner. Stop the divisiveness and racism. Daniel, NFL to America, we need to be divided and separated. Black national anthem before Star Spangled Banner. Laverne, the black national anthem is the Star Spangled Banner. The white national anthem is the Star Spangled Banner. The mixed national anthem is the Star Spangled Banner. If you live in the United States of America, your national anthem is the Star Spangled Banner. Do they think the Star Spangled Banner is the white national anthem, so they need their own? If they think that, somebody should tell them the Star Spangled Banner is for America, anybody who's a citizen regardless of race. I mean, and on and on and on. And frankly, I mean, I wasn't I don't know why they're doing it. I mean, it's more division, and I don't understand
why everybody's up in arms about it. It's a stupid football game. They can do it's their thing. They can do whatever they want. You can always turn it off till the game starts. I don't understand why people get so worked up about it.
I understand perfectly. Why don't they have a Jewish national anthem? Why don't they have a Polish national anthem? Why don't they have an Asian national anthem? You don't think that the Irish were discriminated against and were involved in, why don't they have an Irish national anthem?
I'm not looking into all that. I just want to see a football
bullshit.
Game,
it's just they're trying to, divide. And they're kowtowing to the people who are saying, we need to have people
because they played America the Beautiful?
Is bad. They don't think America's beautiful. They don't believe in what America stands for any more than they believe in what Martin Luther King stood for.
Atlanta's babyface did a good
job.
They
do not believe in content of character as opposed to the color of your skin, or we wouldn't have the nomination for the Supreme Court, for example. Anyway, I'm just saying I'm sick of it. So you have no problem with the NFL and the thing doing a separate national anthem for black people.
That's not how they couched it.
Well, that's what it is. It is
in your mind. It is
national anthem.
I don't.
So
maybe it is in black people's
national
minds
anthem.
Too. Maybe in black people's mind it is.
Flounder, do you have a problem with the black national anthem?
I thought it was dumb. It's like you said earlier. Just do the one.
Yeah, we have a national anthem.
We already have one.
We have a special national anthem for you black people. I just.
When did they say that?
I just did.
Yeah. When did the NFL say this is what we're doing for black people?
It's the definition of that song is the black national anthem.
America the Beautiful?
No, I wouldn't talk about America the Beautiful. I was talking about the black national anthem, the one they sang before that.
I didn't see it.
Well, it was there when they sang the black national anthem.
They called it the black national anthem?
Yes, Pete, why are you doing this? It's not.
I didn't see it.
The NFL did not say, "Ladies and gentlemen, the black national anthem," but they played the son of a bitch, and all the people were singing it, and it's called the black national anthem. Then they played the America the Beautiful, and they played the white national anthem. So there's three different things. They had the black national anthem. You didn't see it, but they played it, and that's what people are saying. Why do we have a specific national anthem just for black people? It's just wrong.
I just skipped through
It's
that.
divisive and petty, and it's just to make people not like other people. It's just stupid. Okay, now, did you watch the Chris Stapleton national anthem?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I did watch that.
As did I. And I thought, he did a very nice job playing the guitar and singing the song. And then, later on, I looked at all the comments on Facebook or something and said, it was the greatest national anthem in the history. Maybe Whitney Houston, but oh my God, the crying and we were all just Chris Stapleton. It was the best thing. I thought, wait a minute, one guy with a guitar. I mean, he kept it on key, but it wasn't like he, and his voice is kind of blues country, which is good. It was
all right.
Well done. It was a very nice song, a good thing. Yeah. But to me, a national anthem that makes me go nuts is the Mormon Tabernacle Choir and trombones and sousaphones and stuff.
That's your cup of tea. Not everyone thinks that.
I know. I'm just saying. I thought he did a nice job. I'm just saying he did a very nice job.
Get to the Rihanna
thing. The reaction to it. Did you see the social media reaction to Chris Stapleton's national anthem?
Most people loved it.
They more than loved it. He thought it was the greatest thing they've ever heard in American history.
But here's how you can't pay attention to any of that. The immediate thing about Rihanna, and we'll get to her in just a second, but the immediate thing when she did, Facebook went nuts, hated it. From the very first syllable, she didn't do anything, and they were hating it. They went in hating it. All right, then you turn on one of the news sayings, and it was all pro Rihanna. Oh, this is the best ever. And then I turned on this morning, and it was another site going, social media reacts negatively to the Rihanna thing. It's all who you're reading it from.
We'll talk about her in a second. Now, concerning the national anthem. I don't know whether at some point before the national anthem was sung, I was watching some kind of coverage before the game, and at some point I was doing more than one thing, and I heard in my ear, I heard on television, I didn't see him, but I heard on television some broadcaster saying to somebody else, "Oh, I'll bet you $1 million he's going to cry before this day is over," or something like that. Did you ever hear anybody say that about somebody? And I think they were talking about the coach.
Well, he said it's going to hit me at the national anthem, and I will probably start crying.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah. And I heard the announcer saying, but this coach has said, boy, it's really going to hit me, and I bet he's going to cry. And sure enough, they played national anthem, and there he is crying on national anthem. Which is nice. It was touching.
It humanized him for a second.
Yeah, yes, it does. However, well, no, I mean. It's the freaking media. That's what I hate about the media jumping on a thing and making it a bigger thing. Every time, if I'm at any time I have ever been in my memory at a live event and they play the national anthem, baseball game, a sporting event, a charity event, fundraiser for the Veterans Day or something. If I'm there and they're playing the national anthem, I'm weepy. I'm choked up by it every time, and I think probably a lot of us are. Okay, so this was not, like the only time in history a man has shown tears at the national anthem.
He's the coach of the Eagles.
I know, but still you'd have thought, oh my God, it was like Jesus himself came down and got inside his eyeballs. All
right, Kimmer not happy with anything. Brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets. I wish you could go in the closet right now. ClosetPro.net.
Am I the only guy who's...
Wait, 404-255-0589 is the number to call. Maybe you should go in the closet right now to listen to this show so that your screams will be muffled. Atlanta Custom Closets. That's the way you go. Hey, it's Valentine's Day. There's still a chance to call them up right now at 404-255-0589, Atlanta Custom Closet, and get a closet for your lady.
That's right. Just put a note in there. Organize it. Put a little heart. Draw a little heart and say, "I love you, baby. We're getting your new closet," or something, and that she'll love it.
She will.
Put it right on the door. Get up early. Make her coffee and a little something, a little note, and then put a little thing on the closet door, a little thing in her breakfast plate when she comes down to breakfast, and take care of her. Like, there you are. You're welcome. She'll love that kind of thing.
Throw her bone.
Now, okay, I'm saying it was very touching and it was very moving, but the reaction about how the freaking media, everybody said, "Oh my God," it was like they've never seen such a thing before in their entire lives. Well, that's bullshit. Stop it, will you? It was a great moment. It was very touching. I appreciated it, but then the reaction is, "Oh, I can't believe he was crying." What do you mean? I cry every freaking time I hear the national anthem. It's not a thing. It's not the greatest thing in the history of the world any more than his rendition of singing it was.
The coach of one of the Super Bowl teams bawling like a baby. It's perfect TV.
I know. And of course, that's what TV does. Believe me, I took advantage of being on TV for many years when I was single. So, everything explodes a million times bigger than it really is because you're on TV. Trust me. I know this.
Brian says, "Where did that Happy Kimmer go?" Turned on a dime.
I'm still him. I'm just saying. I'm complaining about the just enjoy it and accept it.
Find
And
something real to bitch about.
Oh,
There's got to
God.
be something
well,
else
I will,
in here.
No, I will tell you one thing I did think I've never seen before, and I thought was particularly cool after the national anthem when they had the flyover of the jets.
Yes.
And then they showed inside the jet fighter.
Yeah, do you know where they were?
Do I know where they were?
No, who they were.
Yeah, who they were.
That was the first all-female flight crew.
I did not know that.
And they were 20 minutes late.
Well, and they took a wrong turn. It was kind of
They had their blinkers on the whole time. It was
Yeah, well, she was doing her nails. 700 miles an hour doing your fingernails is not out the window to dry them off. It's not the same thing. I didn't know it was all. That was her. You couldn't tell. You just saw it in
No, of
darkness.
course not.
But again, they showed inside the cockpit flying along, which I
cool.
thought was pretty cool for a second. So anyway, that was a happy moment, and we salute our female pilots, by the way. Okay. Anything else on the national anthems, or I want to talk about the
You want to talk about the game or the ads?
I'll
Finished with the
leave it
game?
up to
We're
you.
not finished with the game. All right, let's say.
I've got a whole crap load of stuff on the ads.
Before the game, they announced the NFL Man of the Year, the Walter Payton Award, and they the Philly fans booed him because he's
exactly.
a cowboy.
No, before that, we still have to talk about the halftime show. So we got the game, ads, and halftime.
so what do you want? You're still at the game?
You want to do the game first?
Let's see if I've already. The tomahawk chop. Did you hear that a couple of times?
I loved it, and
Yeah.
again,
they
and
don't
by the-
mention it either. They don't mention a word about
I know. And the other thing was they didn't really cover anything about. There was a protest all weekend about using the word Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs.
it. Who was protesting?
Well, they had another Native American Indian protest group, but again, these are the same people who complained that is it Stanford University or University of Cal's whole system, I think, is no longer using the word chief in any descriptions of chief meteorologist, executive, commander in chief,
a master. They also
and
won't use the
masters.
word master.
Yeah, I mean it's unbelievable. Anyway, so for the record, all right. So you want to do game first?
Okay, go.
Okay.
I was right. by the way.
About who would win?
I said the Eagles should win, but and I can prove this on my show. I don't know if I said on this show. If
did.
it's a minute or 2 minutes left and they're close, Patrick Mahomes will find a way to win it.
Yeah, I think my only concession. I thought Philly was a better team, but I remember saying that Patrick Mahomes is the guy, the sidearm touchdown guy. I mean, he's the playground guy who can make things happen.
You had a team that's basically 70+ sacks, and they didn't sack him once.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was, and Philly's got the line too that they were all
Right.
bragging about. So it was really, I mean, what a great game. Now, for the record, that hold call at the end, the Eagle who did it admitted. I just read it this morning on the way in here. Admitted he held him because he turned him. He grabbed his jersey. If he hadn't grabbed the jersey,
Still, it was bullshit.
still
call.
it was a picky call.
Not then.
For the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think it was a hold, but I don't think I would have thrown a flag because you got to let him play in the Super Bowl. And it wasn't like he spun him around. I mean, he definitely.
But it was still a holding call,
It was
right?
still holding. Yeah.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, but it was a
barely.
barely.
But see,
barely.
They're going to
It-
talk
it-
about
it-
this in the referee
It
groups.
robbed us of a chance for the Eagles to try and come back.
Yeah.
Of a great ending there instead of that, oh my God, whatever that was that
I
he
know.
threw at the end there.
Yeah, and again, and it was more than one of those calls too about roughing the passer or holding or I mean they're just and one of the playoff games, a couple of those penalties changed the nature of everything. So I felt that was. But the guy, the Eagle said, it was holding. It was.
See, someone was saying this morning that it was the right call because in that amount of time and down at the Super Bowl, if it's an illegal play, it's an illegal play.
Yeah, I know. I know. But again, it's just and the Philly fan. Is anything left standing in Philadelphia this morning?
They would have set that place on fire no matter what the outcome
Well,
was.
the last I heard was they were doing. It was mostly peaceful, and then I think early this morning
They
it
tipped a
changed.
car over before the game.
Yeah.
Did you see the guy nutting up on his TV?
Yeah. Did I
Have you
send that
seen
to you guys?
No.
Okay, it's a room. It's a whole bunch of African Americans in the room. They're all kind of young, and they're all enjoying it. Of course, they're probably Philly fans. This guy dressed up in Philly gear, and he's right in front of the TV. And when he kicked the field goal, He took both fists and slammed it basically into the TV and kept. And of course, everybody just scatters like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And one guy tried to calm him down. He was like in his face
He had
too.
too much money on the game, is what he was saying.
Hitting, and then it fell down and almost hit somebody. And he's kicking. There's women there, and they're running out of the way. He was just a complete ass. Is what he was. I'd have escorted him out of the friggin' house.
Please, God. I wonder if he's somebody.
Did he have money
the
on
husband
it?
of the house?
Yeah, because that's what he was saying. I got like that was one thing he was ranting about. He's like, I got too much money on this game.
Was
Well,
that
then
his
you're an
house,
idiot.
though?
Yeah.
Was it his house?
You
His
don't-
TV?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I would have.
I don't
shot
think
his
I'd have been
ass.
very happy with some some friend of mine. I mean, good Lord.
Hit it one more time.
Jeez. Okay, now the game. Give me your impressions of the game, and obviously the what an ending, and especially after the kicker clanked one off the left upright earlier. You know.
I thought the mistake was to give the Eagles the ball first because all season they got the ball first, driven down, gone ahead, and then didn't look back. I'm thinking I've got a not so good defense. I keep that off the field as much as possible. I put Mahomes on the field. I thought they made a mistake by kicking off.
One of the announcers made that comment. In fact, said that Andy Reid was actually discussing if they got the coin flip, should they go ahead and take the ball, knowing that the Eagles score every time they get the ball, they score. I mean, didn't it? I mean, literally, was it like 30 out of 31 or so? I mean, it was unbelievable that if they get the ball to start a game, they score. Usually a touchdown, not just an extra field goal. So and Andy Reid was discussing, and then thought, well, no matter what, we'd rather have the ball to start the second half, which I think would always be my decision. Even though Philadelphia, sure enough, they went down and scored, but then so did Kansas City. So, and after that, but again, going to halftime, all of a sudden, right before halftime, their star quarterback limping off that bad ankle that oh my God, and they missed the field goal, and was Philly leading by 10 points at halftime, and looking good,
And they pointed out in the Super Bowl, the history of the Super Bowl,
Yes.
teams at a double-digit lead at halftime are 26-1.
Yeah.
Who's the one?
Atlanta Falcons, ladies and gentlemen.
They posted that. ESPN posted that, and some Falcon fan on Twitter says, just leave us alone.
Yeah, thank you. By the way, again, that's one of the most meaningless statistics in the history of the world. It doesn't make, 5 years ago, the two teams playing had nothing to do with the two teams playing yesterday. There's no... It's like saying, well, the Cleveland Browns haven't beaten so-and-so in 15 years, so they're clearly not going to beat them again today. Well, the 15-year-ago team is not the team playing now. Anyway, whatever. Okay, other things on the game.
Great game.
It was a great game. And in fact...
the field sucked again.
Oh, I was going to ask you about that, too. Every place they painted... And somebody said they painted the whole damn field, but every place they painted all the decals, they were sliding and slipping like crazy.
They've been bragging for 2 weeks. They grew it in California. They brought it over. Blah blah this. They brought George Toma back.
California
one last time.
Centimia.
It was all supposed to be. It was great. And the Chiefs had bitched about it in the first game of the season. Basically,
yeah.
They've had 2 other Super Bowls there. Had the same problem. I mean, come on.
What do they think?
And the NFL will just blow it off and not. They don't care. They don't care about player safety. They don't care about you, the fan. All they care about is their money.
Are they saying they can't grow the grass that
I've seen
works?
plenty of grass in Phoenix.
It takes a lot of water, but you grow. I mean, I
They
lived
grow
in
it
Phoenix.
outside and they wheel it in.
Yeah.
And if that's their job,
Yeah.
that's
Their one
For
job.
the
You got
Super
one
Bowl.
job.
Yeah, for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. They don't care.
I know.
That's why they're bad. Roger Goodell can stand up and say, "Oh, the state of refereeing is better than ever."
It's worse.
Well, is that why
the guy who made the Philadelphia guy who made the catch? And I texted you guys after they said after they looked it over and said no, it wasn't a catch. He caught the ball. Oh my God!
You know what was a catch? The guy who fumbled it, and the guy picked his second fumble up and ran it in for a touchdown. That to me is a catch.
Well, see, I mean, now who knows what a catch is
called
anymore?
It. He turned. The guy hit him.
And since when are you supposed to take 3 steps?
What's horse? No one knows.
the other
It's
thing,
unbelievable.
with the grass the way it was. Is that why Patrick Mahoney hurt his ankle again?
No, he got tackled.
He got
from
tackled.
behind.
Okay.
Mahomes.
You got
Mahomes.
yeah.
Mahomes.
But I mean, what's a catch? It's
You don't know.
unbelievable.
It's too many. There's too many rules. Too many rules. Too many flags.
Well, I don't know. Anyway,
It makes it almost unwatchable at times.
Yeah.
The flags.
let's see. Anything more on the game you can think of?
The hell with the game. Let's get to what do you want? The
we got
halftime or the ads?
halftime or the ads. Let's do halftime. Okay. Now, it wasn't Beyonce. What was her name? Who did it?
Rihanna.
Again, I don't. If you ask me to name Rihanna's song, is she the one who did "To the Box" on the left? I asked you that last. I can't remember.
No, that's Beyonce.
That's Beyonce. That's right. So Rihanna. If you ask me to name a Rihanna song, I don't know one. I don't have a Rihanna song. So I can't help you there. But I know who she. I mean, I know of her. I know who she is. What, you got a little Thin Mint going
I'm
there?
eating cookies and freshening my breath at the same
Well,
time.
it's a double mints. It's 2 mints in one. And now the thing that got me was she comes out in this big, round, flaming red outfit.
Yeah.
But what astounded me was she's on a platform that's going up in the sky, and I thought my hands started sweating.
Yeah. And the dancers were up.
And I thought, oh my God, what if it tips over? It had guy wires on it from the corners of this steel platform going up in the, like 100 feet in the air. And I'm thinking, holy criminy, what if they slip?
Yeah.
I mean, and I was looking for guy wires attached to her, but I didn't see any. I don't know whether she was I don't think there was, because she was.
I think she was.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
That's too
I
much.
was looking for something to see whether there was some.
Not to mention, it was revealed she was pregnant, so I'm assuming there was
Well,
some kind of.
they showed the baby bump. And in fact, at one point, she went like this and leaned, and I thought, "Oh my God, is she pregnant?" And it clearly was that. But again, the thing that astounded me was that when she was on this platform going way up in the sky, and I thought, "Oh my God, she's going to fall off of that. What if it tilts? If one of the guy rides, they'd all go flying."
There were 2 really cool shots they had, though, of her coming up and seeing the crowd in the background.
It was
it was
unbelievable.
unreal.
And
It was really cool.
I guess they all had lighters or
Yeah,
something.
something.
Gave them light things or whatever. But I mean, it was unbelievable.
And the other thing I thought was kind of nice was it was just her. There wasn't like 40 special acts and people coming in and out. So
Well, the good news was they did have the 150 sperm dancers. I thought that when you can't have too many zygotes. The zygotes. I guess
Somebody put the Woody Allen movie, Everything You Need to Know About Sex.
Yeah, when he's dressed up as a little, a
Burt
sperm.
Reynolds was one of them.
Oh yeah, there you are. And again, the sperm dancers. I thought because they did the whole wiggly thing, and they did
they showed their bras.
looking, looking for the vagina, I guess, looking for the opening for the God's window or Mother Nature's window. I don't know what do you call. And then one of the parts I couldn't quite understand, since the sperm dancers weren't involved in it, was when she started rubbing her lower parts.
Did she?
Oh yeah, there was some.
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, there was.
I went bathroom break.
Yeah, there was some crotchetical areas.
Really?
Yeah. Of turning, and they did like twerking and then rub thing.
glad
on
I
the thing.
missed that.
Yeah, I didn't. And frankly, I was scanning the TV to see what else was on during the halftime show, and there was really nothing on. 200 channels, and there's nothing to watch. So because it's a Super Bowl.
one goes up against the Puppy Bowl.
Yeah, the puppy, and I did watch a little of the Puppy Bowl. I mean, just made me want to get a bunch of dogs. But again, I don't. It's not the kind of halftime show I would enjoy, because I don't. She's not my kind of singer. I mean, I don't know her music.
She's a pop singer.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying they were going to get me to watch it. If they had the Beach Boys or something, I might have watched part of it.
The red dress concerned me after the Sam Smith satanic thing at the Grammys.
Well, that was the other, and I thought,
didn't
why
like
did they do that?
If
Why?
they're rubbing each other, I didn't like that too. My problem with most people, especially on Facebook, she hadn't said a word, hadn't done anything, and they were already calling her names and bitching and going on.
But is she controversial? I mean, I don't know anything
She's
other
not
than
all
I know
that.
her.
She was the one that got beat up by Chris whatever, right?
Yes.
She
What's
got
his
beat
name?
up by the rapper.
Yeah.
That's the only controversy I know she's been in. She's an actress too.
And that was 10 years ago anyway.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, right.
Yeah, I don't know if she's had some songs that are controversial.
No,
What
she's
were
been
they-
in some soundtracks and stuff like that, but she hasn't had like a big album
she's
out
not
in
a
a while.
gangster rapper.
No,
she's a
nothing
pop
like-
singer.
Yeah,
So what were they complaining
Oh,
about?
well, just frankly,
Why did
I
they get
think
her?
because she's black. That's the
Really?
only thing I could get from it. It's like, why are
Really?
you mad at this woman? She hasn't even started singing. You're already, this is the worst thing. Yeah, this sucks. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, then turn it off.
yeah.
Fast forward. Do what
Yeah, I
go
did.
get a sandwich.
Yeah.
But
And
sit there and take the effort and energy to go on Facebook and say how much she sucks and blah, blah, blah. Then you get the fuck out there and do it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand the hate. That I can understand not liking her, not liking the show. But to say it before even the show went on, how much you hate her, where does that come from?
Well, Pete, you're being kind of negative here and grumpy. I'm sorry.
And you know me, I don't throw the race thing out there. But I'm telling you right now, it seemed, the only complaint I was getting out of it, these people didn't like her because of the way she looked.
You know, it never occurred to me. It never occurred to me that there would be an issue of her being black because she's a famous entertainer. And what difference at this
cares?
stage? What difference does it make?
I just didn't understand the hate on Facebook. It was It was like 99% blank her. This sucks. This is horrible. Blank
Well,
the NFL for
Because
putting her out
Facebook is
there.
an older generation.
And obviously,
Yeah.
one that doesn't like.
Maybe so.
And I'm thinking she's a pop singer. She's not a gangster rapper. It's not like last year.
Yeah.
We had all those gangsters out there.
Yeah, it was who was it? Snoop Dogg and
But I don't.
Dr. Dre.
She's not my cup of tea, but I'm not going to sit there and spew hate on
Yeah,
Facebook because of it.
I don't have a problem with it other than the sperm dancers. I thought was a little Jesus. I mean, what are you?
Well, the rubbing.
what
They
else
shouldn't
were
be
they?
doing the rubbing thing
Yeah,
on
they're
that.
doing the rubbing
They
thing,
shouldn't
and
be doing that.
That shouldn't be doing. And that was just briefly, but that's what I saw when I looked. I realized she rubbing her crotch, and then the thing, and she went front and then back, as I remember, and the little twerky thing. And I thought, where did that come from? You know,
Everybody
that wasn't-
says she was
doing it. Huh?
she was wired on her feet, and I thought I saw a wire on her feet
No,
as well.
I wouldn't be surprised. There had to be.
Of course,
something.
if she fell, she'd be hanging
Well,
from her.
that'd be better than hanging by your feet. Better than hitting head first 100 feet down. But I mean, my hands were sweating. Just why wouldn't they? Like, oh my God!
Mark said Mark's obviously watched Battleship, which I like Battleship, the movie. She's in Battleship.
So do I. I like that movie as well.
She killed aliens. Did you? She was in the Navy in the movie.
In the movie, yes.
You never seen Battleship?
You know, I've never seen the movie.
Liam Neeson's in it, and the guy John Carter was in it, and she's
Yeah.
in it.
I know of it. I just, for some reason, I've never watched it. I don't know why. It's been on. But
You know who else is in it? Who was the really strange kid from Breaking Bad? The one that locked Jesse in the hole. The redhead.
Oh yeah.
He's
oh,
in
yeah.
it,
Oh,
too.
he's been in a lot of things. A bunch of. He gained a lot of weight.
Fargo, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's right. He was in Fargo. That blonde kid who Jesse strangled him finally. Wow. Anyway, Flounder, any halftime? Did you watch halftime show or have any?
I was pretty much asleep by halftime. I watched the start of it, and then I was like, all right, I'm done.
Sounds good. Okay, now commercials. Okay. I just kind of wrote them down in order, and we're not going to talk about everything that happened here, but just a couple things. I thought of I realized, and again, I'm usually doing 2 or 3 things when commercials are on, but I did want to watch them. And I remember hearing some things, some lines from Caddyshack. And I looked up, and there was an ad for Ultra beer, Ultra something, whatever the Ultra
Michelob.
Ultra Michelob,
Piss water.
Yeah, and they use some of the Caddyshack guys, including some of the originals, and of course, some of them are dead. Rodney Dangerfield, for example, and the guy, the judge. Well, we're waiting.
I thought Brian
dead.
Cox was great in it.
Oh, he did a great job. Yeah, he was great. So I mean, it was really. I thought it was clever. It was well done. And
Until
until what?
that was the second one that Serena Williams is in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Half the country can't stand her. Why
Yeah.
do people think she's a good spokesperson?
I don't
Half
know.
she's a narcissistic, sullen,
Nasty.
bitch.
Entitled. I mean, remember, the way
Unlike
she.
Rihanna, she's a bitch.
Yeah, I haven't forgotten when she went after that tennis umpire.
I know.
Rip your throat out and piss down your neck or whatever she said. I mean, jeez. I mean, she's a bully.
Yep.
She's a bully, and
the
she's
greatest
an entitled,
female tennis player of all time. Can't take that away
I don't
from
care.
her.
But you don't put her in a caddy. You don't put her in a Caddyshack role.
And she was in first quarter. We had 2 commercials of her.
With her. Yeah. And I was taken aback by it, and plus I don't like looking at her. I mean, she just doesn't look like somebody I want to admire. I mean, she just
And her smile is so fake.
yeah. I was very, very
Yeah,
taken
not in a
aback by it.
Caddyshack. That insulted me.
Um,
Tony Romo in there insulted me.
Oh, I don't mind Tony Romo. Was he driving the cart? I forgot.
He was playing the Bill Murray
Oh,
character.
that's right. And again, it wasn't like having the real characters.
Brian
but
Cox was the only good thing.
Brian Cox was played the judge. the Adam Driver commercial for some Square website.
Yeah, that was
I didn't
stupid.
understand anything about that.
That was stupid.
And is Adam Driver a big star?
He's
guy?
got a movie coming out, 65, about aliens or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I didn't know anything about that one.
He was in Star Wars.
Now, I thought it was very clever. There was an ad for the internet showing internet dating, where a woman's in a guy's house, and she says, "Gee, I see I look an awful lot like your mom." He says, "Yeah, two hotties," and it's all pictures. I love you, mom.
got a
pictures
tramp
and
stamp.
Yeah, and he's asking her questions like, "Are you getting a good signal?" "No, I'm not really getting a good signal at all." He's talking about the internet. She's talking about their new relationship.
It's for
And so-
Xfinity.
Xfinity, that's what it was, and it was internet, connections. Are
That
not
was
good
pretty
anymore.
smart.
That was clever. It was very clever, and again, it showed the guy being a good. Oh, look, hold on a second. I know we're talking here, and I'm actually talking on the radio or on the podcast. But oops, you scared him. Kitty cat was in my satchel. Anyway, okay, I thought that was very clever. Where'd Pete go? Is he getting another helping of cookies?
Probably.
Next, there was an ad with Will Ferrell
I didn't see that
about
one.
GMC trucks and zombies. And it showed him, I guess at his current age, maybe they aged him, but he looked like he was 70 years old. And it was for GMC trucks, probably maybe electric trucks. I don't know. It was like GMC trucks and Will Ferrell. And I didn't really think much about that one.
No, it was just a General Motors ad, so I'm sure it
Yeah,
was something that had to
you
do
see.
with efficiency or.
Also, there was an ad for Uber, and it was a bunch of black rappers and singers, and there was some superstar guy they were treating like a king, and kowtowing to him, and it was for Uber Corporation or something. I didn't get any sense out of that one. Did Pete leave? Was he?
No, he's on the phone.
Actually. I wonder if he's got a house.
We'll see.
We'll see. Let's see. Two doggy commercials. I want to talk when he comes back because I know he'll react to these the same way I did. I'll bet you. God, you know what was? I'm going to wait for them to come back on. Oh, here we go. Okay. The Tesla ad. Did you see the group that had the ad for Tesla?
Yeah.
Self-driving car, and they showed all the examples of the self-driving car running over babies in the crosswalk. Fake, artificial children running over them one after another, going through stop signs.
I know.
And I thought, holy criminy, what a great ad!
Well, they're going after Elon too.
I
In
guess,
every
but
way
holy,
they can.
I mean, that got my attention. Crashing and creasing a 5-year-old child in the crosswalk.
That's the deep state going after him right there.
Holy
guarantee you.
mackerel! I mean, that really, and I don't remember what the group was. It was the anti-Tesla self-driving. How do they allow this to happen? Kind of thing. But I don't know who the group was. But again, that's the point. That it was so affected. I'm thinking, oh my God, I wouldn't want to drive one of those cars without having my hand on the wheel or the brake. Wowie. I got two doggy commercials. Talk about later. Okay, let's.
Keep going.
Social media. Are you back with another thing? I got paper. What do you want? I got paper up the.
I spilled something and the cat's
Oh, you
trying to lick it.
paper towel. Oh, I got napkin. I mean, Kleenex.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. All right.
I'll keep talking.
Okay. The social media this morning seemed to think that the Ben Affleck ad
Yes.
in Dunkin' Donuts was the greatest
Yes.
thing they've ever seen in their
Yes.
lives.
It showed like every Ben Affleck meme there is in that one commercial.
Right. And the thing is, it was so good because it's one of those perfect ads where he's making fun of himself, he's being silly, he's having fun, he's taking people by surprise. I mean, it was perfect. And the ending when Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, shows up, says,
Give me a glaze.
This is what you say when you're going to work every day. He says, grab me a cream or glaze.
Give me a glaze.
A glazed.
Yeah.
I mean,
the best line was, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends. Everybody's worked a drive-through and had their parents come
Right.
through.
I did it with my daughter. Her first job as a cashier at the supermarket in Deerfield, Illinois.
Guinness?
And I got in line in her line with my phone camera running when she's ringing me up, Dad. It was hysterical. But again, that was a great commercial. It was a really great commercial, and everything about it was just, it was just right.
The Bradley Cooper tried to do it, and it wasn't quite as well
with his
done.
mother.
Yeah.
I only saw a little bit of that one for some reason. But again,
it
was that she didn't know the lines, and they were making a
Yeah.
joke with her that she couldn't and that was cute. I saw like the last 10 seconds, and it seemed sweet or seemed nice. But the Ben Affleck, man, that just got social media all over the world. Was thinking that was as good as it gets. Let's see. I did the sperm dance and lip sync. Shortly after that was an ad. And I got 2 dog ads I want to talk about a little bit later in a minute. The ad for the woman playing flag football, and nobody could
That was good.
catch her. And it was very well done.
With
very
the
well
mom?
done.
The mom,
with her mother in the kitchen
mother's
saying,
doing it.
"Oh, let me." I mean, and you knew that was going to happen, but you still.
But
knew.
what was it for?
I don't. Well, I know it was sponsored by the NFL.
Oh, they're pushing their flag football
And
thing.
they're pushing
Yeah.
let women play let women play football.
Who's keeping
They
women
had-
from playing flag
I
football?
know. They
It's
had
all
Billie,
bullshit.
Billie Jean King was in the commercial, and so
man hating again.
yeah, which is fine. But again, I don't. Who's got a problem with women playing flag football?
Nobody.
What's the negative? I'd watch. I mean, I wouldn't go to a game, but if it were on in passing, I'd watch. I'm really not a flag football fan because it's all just the fastest runners. If you can zigzag
She was
faster than the
fast.
other guy, and she was I mean, but again, it's like I watch those building jumpers, the guy who jumped from ledges and buildings, one building to
Parkour.
another, on balconies and
Yeah.
through windows and stuff. I oh my god, and it's exciting as hell. But nobody's against it. It's not like you need an association for it any more than a women flag football. Fine, let them play. I don't care.
Kimmer All About Flag Football for Girls, brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com of Sonoya, Georgia. FarmhousePrintingCo.com with shirts and hats and signs and all the Kimmer Show stuff. Shannon Burke, my stuff, Holy Crap at Sports. Anything you need, they can do it. No minimum order, nothing like that.
That's important, by the way. You can
Yeah.
order one T-shirt or one hat or one golf towel,
Or 1,000.
or one podcat blanket. Like they did a beautiful job.
But
of
why
the work.
stop at one?
Get a whole bunch of them. Christmas presents are coming up in only
That's
8
correct,
months.
sir. And it's laser engraving as well. So FarmhousePrintingCo.com for all your printing needs.
There you are. They're great, and we love what they do.
Yep.
The Doritos ad. The first one was the triangle player. And the guy looks at the that was cute,
It's
but
all
it wasn't like, and I thought it was amusing, but it wasn't like one of my greatest ads I've ever seen. However, the other Doritos one was the guy, people from Breaking Bad. And that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And by the way, Bryan Cranston looked good. I mean, he looked young. I don't know whether they put special makeup on or something, and Jesse, I mean, it was really pretty cool.
We don't eat our own product. He said he did that on a show. He never tried the blue meth.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there one day, and Jesse's like eating one. He goes, don't eat that. You're not supposed to eat that. And he goes, man, you haven't tried this? He goes, no, I'm not going to eat that. He goes, come on, man. It is, what do you call it? Cotton candy flavored.
Yeah.
It's just candy. And he goes, all right. He popped one in his mouth, and he went, that's pretty good. He kept eating it.
On the set, you mean? But it was the Breaking Bad Doritos ad was pretty. I thought that was pretty clever. It was pretty cool.
You talk about the deflating kid?
The what?
The price line where the father says we can't afford to go on vacation or something, and the kid's standing there, and all of a sudden he deflates like a balloon.
I didn't see that one.
That was pretty cute.
Oh, I must miss that one. One of the best ones I saw was the guy talking about electric vehicles and people suffering from premature electrification.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was pretty funny.
I noticed though that everybody. I was the only one that was laughing. I was the only one who kind of got it.
Really?
Yeah, people weren't really paying attention at that point in the game because it was really late.
Oh, I thought that was almost controversial. I mean, like it was kind of far out for a family.
I don't think
football ad.
a lot of people got it.
Premature electrification,
I know.
where prematurely. I mean, how can
Yeah.
you?
And the women's reactions were always
Yeah,
fun.
it said, "Oh, great, same old thing." I mean, I thought, "Oh my
Again,
God,
and
okay, tell me another story." Or whatever.
Never
Thinking,
finishes, never gets there.
I mean, that was hysterical. How could you not? I thought that was as
Well
good
done.
as anything.
But what was
ever.
it for?
Electric vehicles.
Okay.
Of some kind. I don't know whether it was a brand.
Ram. I wrote it
Oh,
down.
it was a Ram.
It was a
Okay,
Ram
Ram. There
Dodge.
you are.
Dodge Ram.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
You're missing an important one.
what's that?
You're missing a really important one.
All right, go ahead.
The Transformer movie commercial.
Oh, where the guy's in the car that turns into a monster or something? Was that what it was? I don't think I saw just that part of it. I don't see.
They finally have a Porsche Transformer.
A Porsche Transformer?
Porsche.
I'll be damned.
Transformer.
Well, then now you're at the top of the
And it
line,
was
I
pretty
guess.
cool.
So it can really corner really well, I guess.
And it's called Mirage, and all of a sudden there's one, and all of a sudden there's 6 of them.
all my prep school friends who had their 7 or 8 year old used Porsches back when they had no radio, no heater, no nothing, it was just a stick shift in the middle of the cockpit of the driver's thing, and they were all said the same thing. Yeah, it sounds like a Volkswagen, but boy, this thing can really corner, because they were the best handling cars made from the 50s.
That's funny you say that. A few years ago, I went up. The only Long John Silver's close is way up there past Marietta. So I was, what the hell, on a Saturday, I drove all the way up there once, and I'm doing the drive-thru, and I'm waiting at the light, and this bum comes sauntering up to the car. This old guy called, and he goes, "Man, I used to have one of these back in the 60s, and everybody made fun of me. Look at that little Volkswagen, put.
Yeah.
And then I'd leave them in the dirt, man. I'd leave them in the dirt."
It was, I had 4 or 5 friends who had, this was in the 60s, and they were like 1955 or 56 bathtub Porsches, not the expensive one, but, the entry, the older ones. And there was nothing in them. You had 2 seats, and it was a stick shift on a straight thing with a knob on it, and that was it. I mean, that was it.
Is this
No
true
console?
or not? I was driving around the other day in a Mini Cooper. It was coming toward me, and it was raining, so they had their lights on.
Yeah.
And they were going to make a left turn in front of me, so they were waiting. And their blinker is their light. The
headlight?
the left light was blinking.
Most
the
cars
right
turn
one was
off.
not. And so I guess that's how they have a blinker, is that their light blinks.
Because most cars, the light goes off and the blinker goes on.
It was kind of cool.
And the headlight goes off on most
the
cars.
whole headlight was
I'll
blinking.
be damned. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I'll be damned. Let's see. Okay, 2 more ads to talk about. I want to talk about 2 doggy ads. Have you got any others beside the doggy ads?
The Will Ferrell.
Oh, I mentioned that quickly. I thought that was pretty funny with the zombies and the GMC trucks.
It went on a little long, but it was funny.
Yeah, but I thought it was amusing.
I guess were most commercials either 30 or 60?
Well, and a lot of them, I saw a lot of short commercials, which
Yeah, because
surprised
it's 60 spots, $7 million.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I remember when they first went to $1 million and oh my God, $1 million for a 1-minute spot one time.
The Diddy one started out bad,
Yeah, I was like, where is this going?
but then they went to the point where he's actually rehearsing the other acts to do the jingle, and they
Oh,
did
was that-
the Norwegians.
Was that for the Uber people?
Yeah, the Uber ad,
No,
and he
I
had
just wondered what that. I saw that, didn't know what it was
when
about.
we first started the radio a few years ago, remember the "What Does the Fox Say"
Yeah,
song was
yeah.
out, and we played it.
Yeah.
He had those people up there doing
Oh,
that.
I didn't get that one. I wonder what that was about. I don't think I saw the whole thing. And I thought, why are they saluting this one black guy and all the other black guys are trying to do? And I
didn't know that was
and
Diddy,
it was for
huh?
Uber, and I didn't know who was who. I guess something. So, okay, 2 doggy ads. One of them for Farmers. Dog food, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Where the dog is growing old and old and old. And I hate, I hate those. but I'm glad, that you want to obviously get the best things for your dog. But, when you see it's just, because you know what's coming. And the one that really got me, though, and I'm getting choked up just thinking about it now. I can't believe I'm doing it. Why am I getting choked up? Because everything was fine. Was the dog who destroys his house when the family leaves.
Yeah. It looks like they're getting rid of it.
And they bring a crate in, and they're going to take him off to somebody else's farm, and say, look at me, I'm just crying like I'm weeping right now. And they're going, and I'm thinking, oh my God, my God, my God, you got to be kidding me. And it can't be that. It can't be that horrible that they would do that on a TV commercial for the Super Bowl. And sure enough, they open the crate, and a little puppy comes out, and there has a plate. So that was good.
Now
but,
both of them will tear up the house.
now, yeah, but again, and by the way, what's even an ad for? What's it for?
It was for Amazon. That's where they got the crate from, and they delivered.
Was that
a
what it
crate.
was for? See, I didn't even know what it was for. I figured it was remember dog food again. Anyway, and now it still gets getting weepy thinking
What about the
it.
other dog one?
The one, the doggy grows old, or what?
Well, see, I thought at the very end there, she had him when she was a kid, and it was a puppy, and it went up,
she's
and I'm
going
thinking,
she
well,
went
the
to
dog,
college.
the dog's obviously too old to still be around because she's got a husband and a child there, and
They
she's
showed her
looking
going off to school.
at the child, and she was looking past the child, and I thought she was going to look at a photo of the dog.
Yeah.
But it was the dog.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but again, still, it was, the ending and the sadness and all the things. The reason why, the hard.
The rabbit. Did you talk about the big rabbits grabbing people and throwing them in the holes?
I didn't see that one.
It was Tubi. I still don't know what Tubi is, but these giant rabbits were just taking people out of work and cars and homes and throwing them down rabbit holes, literally rabbit holes. I don't know what it was for.
Going down the rabbit hole. But so how do you get out of it? Was it a thing to get out of the rabbit hole?
No, it's just, I guess, an internet thing.
Well, what the hell was that all about?
I don't know what Tubi is.
Tubi?
Let's see. The Bud Light on hold. That's what I wrote down. Bud Light on hold. What does that mean? What was the Bud Light one? Because everybody liked it.
Wow.
Damn it. Anybody
I don't know.
Well, before we do that, Rocco pointed out something. I didn't know that was Alicia Silverstone doing her Clueless thing for some ads.
For what?
She was. I don't know what it was
In
for.
what ad?
But at the end of it, I said, "Was that Alicia Silverstone?" And of course, all the women in the room go, "Oh yeah, she looks better now. She did then."
What was he? I missed
I
that
don't
ad,
know,
I guess.
But it was.
I'll be
she's
damned.
hot looking now. A good cougar.
Well, she's got a funny mouth on her. Sorry. Well, she's got
her down.
like a torn
Say no.
pocket.
Alicia,
But again,
don't send any pics.
no. When we broke up, it was for good. So I don't even Google her anymore.
Tubi is a TV app, whatever that means.
Ah.
Oh, it's a streaming TV channel. That's what they're
Oh,
saying.
God, I can't keep track of it.
But what was the Bud Light one? God bless. Bud Light.
Well, I can't remember. Was it?
People, help us out here. What was the Bud Light one? Because remember the big one, the Coors Light versus Miller Light was supposed to be a big thing, and it turned out it was
There was three
Blue
of them.
Moon.
It was a Bud Light, Coors Light, and Miller Light, and they that's what it was.
There's a Blue Moon at the end of it.
And it was for a Blue Moon.
Sucks.
Yeah. Was that it?
Blue Moon sucks.
Was that what they were talking about?
Yeah, but that's not the Bud Light one. That wasn't the Bud Light. Help us out here, people. Where are you?
Flounder, do you remember
Remember the Bud Light
commercial?
one? What was the Bud Light one? And I got
You
on
wrote it
hold.
down. I
On
actually didn't.
hold. What does that mean?
Bond hold?
On hold. All right, let's do something else. We did Peyton Manning and the Beans. That was a surprise to see him doing a bean
the
commercial.
yeah. And by the way, you put beans in salad? He
No.
put
No.
baked beans in a lettuce bowl of lettuce
Oh,
salad.
okay. Rocco helped us out. The Bud Light, the guy is in the kitchen, and there's a really good-looking woman on the couch, and he's in the kitchen, and the person puts him on hold. So he has it on the speakerphone, and this music comes on,
dancing.
so he starts dancing, and then he gets her to dance, and then, of course, they stop and go, "Are you still on hold? We'll be with you in just a minute." And they pause, and then the music comes back on, and
Yeah.
they start dancing, and I thought that was cute.
Well, but I didn't think it was anything other than he's dancing with his girlfriend.
all right.
Yeah, it was fine. But I didn't think
there
it was.
weren't any, outside of the Affleck one, there wasn't any that made you want to call somebody up and say, "Did you just see that?"
Yeah.
That was the only
Yeah.
one.
Well, the two I mentioned, the electrification thing and the ones I mentioned, the Ben.
We've already covered.
I don't remember them now. The Ben Affleck and the Crate one, and I don't know, whatever I mentioned before. Screw it, I don't give a crap. All right.
By the way, you didn't even notice what it.
I saw Guinness non-alcoholic draft.
Guinness Stout now makes a
I'll bet
non-alcoholic.
that
Is
is
it any
so
good?
bitter. I'll bet it tastes like nice bitters with bitter.
You know where I got it?
leaves.
Facebook has been doing this thing for a week about this. So I look it up on the Guinness app, and it says now you can't get it anywhere near Atlanta. So my brother-in-law calls up Total Wine up there in Alpharetta. Have you ever been in that place?
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah,
Holy
Yeah, that's enormous.
I never seen a place like that.
it's like a grocery store
That's
for.
more different weird beers than I've ever seen in my life. But they have it.
And again, they got a bunch of. Actually, they have like a whole non-alcoholic section as well.
I know. I'm going to be going back over there. I had no clue that place was there.
Well, yeah, they're I knew they were huge. I've
Right
been there
across
in
from the mall.
Years and years. Denise just paid us another Happy Valentine's
Oh,
Day
Denise.
Venmo thing. Our sweet girl Denise.
Let
Thank
me ask you,
very
are
much.
you going to send any
Well,
Valentines?
now
Either
I
one of you?
I feel kind of
I'm going to
bad.
send one.
I feel kind of. Oh, are you sending a Valentine?
I'm going to send a Valentine to one
Well,
person.
I
They're
have-
having a bad week, so I'm going to send one.
By that you mean she?
Yeah, I don't date guys, Kimmer.
Well, why would you say they, unless you're stringing along 4 or 5 of them, which is probably the
I was
case
using
anyway.
I was using
Mr.
the correct.
Privacy over here.
I was
I mean,
using
that's
the
the
correct.
pronoun.
You think he would share
that's
with
the
us?
pronoun.
I was using the correct pronoun.
Yeah, I'll give you a pronoun.
You bitch.
Pronoun. My God, man. Oh, anyway.
Do you like the smell of Guinness, Flounder?
Yes.
Good, because
Oh,
this
I
chair's going to smell like it for a while.
I know. I'll have a Guinness every once in a while. I mean,
Oh, that's so bitter.
is
It's
so
like
good. You wanna try some?
Michelob.
Well, the funny thing-
Heineken.
Like you
it's like
compared this to
Heineken. No, I meant
Michelob?
Heineken. I mean,
I
Michelob's
love
syrupy.
well, the funny thing is it's actually easier if, again, I don't chug beers anymore or anything like that, but it's easier to chug a Guinness than it is any other beer because it's not carbonated.
Oh, well, I don't know. You're not going to get me drinking it no matter what.
Good stuff, Maynard. You know how long I've waited to have a Guinness? I haven't had a Guinness in 12 years.
Is it taste similar to an actual Guinness?
Almost. Heineken's almost exactly. This is close
Huh.
to a pour. And
Well,
nothing's better than a pour.
My golf pro PGA pro older brother Gene was drank non-alcoholic. He was a drunk for years and years, a golfer, gambler, drunk. A happy drunk, good, but he realized one day, oh, I can't drink. I got to stop drinking. So he drank nothing but non-alcoholic. I tried it. Well,
A buddy of mine actually did the same thing, and this past 2 weeks ago was his 300. He did 1 year sober,
You're not.
and it would happen during COVID. He was like, I just noticed myself drinking more, and he stopped before it became a problem.
Yeah.
And he's enjoyed every minute of it, but he still loves the taste of a non-alcoholic beer.
yeah.
But
Well,
if you're an alcoholic, you should not. This has 0.5% alcohol.
Yeah,
it's
that
never
counts.
complete. You
Yeah.
should not be drinking these
Yeah,
if you're an
yeah,
alcoholic.
Yeah. Well, he used that stuff to keep him straight for 20 years.
Yeah, if you're borderline and you can
Yeah.
handle it, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you're a full-fledged alcoholic, this is not
if you
good
have the
for you.
disease of alcoholism,
Yeah.
that's a chemical thing. That's not a just you like it. God, we got so many things. I
How
went
about
to-
the disrespect after the game that Bradshaw showed to Andy Reid?
I did not see anything after the game.
First of all, I think Roger Goodell was drunk. Did you not see the trophy presentation?
No, I didn't.
They
I
had
didn't
the
see anything after
smallest
the game.
dais I've ever seen. And they have up there, and Roger Goodell rambles on, congratulations, I'm here to congratulate you, blah, blah, blah. It's like, why are you doing that, dickhead? You're drunk.
Wow.
He seemed, that's my opinion, he seemed drunk. So they handed to Bradshaw, and Bradshaw comes up and says, he don't want to talk to the owner. By the way, the woman who's going to, the heir to the
Yeah.
Lamar Hunt fortune and everything,
Yeah.
is unbelievably hot, model hot.
Wow.
I can show you pictures
Was she
later.
the blonde that I saw in the
Yes.
booth? I didn't see her at the end of the game.
She's a
Oh, yeah,
model,
she was-
Instagram
yeah.
model.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So he goes to Andy Reid. He goes, hey, come on, waddle over here.
Yeah, oh, waddle
And it's
over
like,
here.
what?
He should talk. Terry Bradshaw weighs
I know.
700 pounds.
I know, waddle over.
He's
here.
a
That was
big fat
The guy
load.
just won the Super Bowl. A little respect.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Especially for him to say it.
I know. It was not.
I mean, he's embarrassingly fat. No, I'm sure. I see Terry Bradshaw. I remember Terry Bradshaw, as the guy they thought was
Thor.
too stupid to be a quarterback in the NFL.
But he
and
wasn't.
he showed him. I mean, it had nothing to do with taking the SATs. And one of the great, scrambling, fix it,
Oh, yeah.
do whatever you have to do quarterbacks of all time.
Tough.
Champion, winner, tough guy, everything else. And now he's a big fat load. Making fun of another big fat load.
Did you see what he said last week?
No.
He wants to die on the set.
Oh, well, so do I. I want to drop dead right here.
Oh, great. Because we're not kissing you to give you
No,
the
it's over.
kiss of life. That's
I
not
don't want
gonna
you to. I'd rather just go.
By the way, I saw something yesterday. There's a thing now that they have. It's kind of like a pump that's supposed to be better than you doing it, and you put it over their mouth and you pump it.
Yeah, you don't do CPR.
So I think I'm going to get one of those because I think everybody should have one of those.
Wait, can you find out what it is and tell people we should get one?
It's on Facebook. I saw it as an ad. It was an
Okay.
ad on
All right,
Facebook.
Flounder, look it up for her while we're doing cool. While you're doing that, and we haven't even talked about Valentine's Day yet. I got a bunch of quotes here and stories. Also, there are some things in the news. The Secret Service helping Hunter. The 4 UFOs now shot down. 3. And by the way, the Al Jazeera Constitution had a story this morning on the 3 objects that were shot down recently. They didn't even include the one that was shot down yesterday.
Over Lake Huron.
Yeah, in today's paper, they didn't have yesterday's early day shoot down.
And they
That's how
closed-
bad they are covering the news.
They closed Lake Michigan.
I know. Oh yeah, she's a mink, man. She's
real-
built too.
Yeah. Just gorgeous.
Wow. Well, there you go. Anyway, coming up, we'll have the mouth-saving suction.
Yeah, they're you can go on Amazon and get them. It's just you just go CPR mask.
Mask.
And that's what they look like. So
here's
you
what
obviously
they look
put that over their mouth, and then you just
okay.
blow air into there.
It's like a mask you put over your mouth, and then you pump it on the. Okay,
Oh,
well,
that's
that's pretty cool.
Here, look at this.
Oh God, she's a knockout.
She was Miss Kansas,
I'll be damned.
and she's the heir to the Kansas City Chiefs fortune.
Yeah, that's pretty good there. Yeah, but is she happy?
I don't care. I'm going to make her miserable. I
I'll
know
tell you
that.
what, make you happy. You're driving along, you see a car you've always wanted, you're thinking, I remember the Kimmer was telling me about this. What's the name of this company? SwapMyWhip.com. Whip, of course, being a colloquial phrase for a ride, a car, or a ride of any kind. SwapMyWhip.com. For like-minded car owners who are driving along and maybe thinking about a car or see one they've always wanted, SwapMyWhip.com means you might find another like-minded car owner who doesn't want to deal with the dealerships or the middlemen or used car salesmen and wants to go right with the people who have the car he or she is looking for or know somebody who does, and you make your own deal with your own salesman. Go to SwapMyWhip.com. Avoid all the goofballs entirely. And it's not just cars. Obviously, it's SUVs and trucks, boats, jet skis, off-road vehicles, ATVs, go-karts. I mean, whatever. If you can drive it or fly it, I guess you could probably find somebody like-minded like you on SwapMyWhip.com. If you use the coupon code KIMMER, K-I-M-M-E-R, it's 180 days of free premium listings on SwapMyWhip.com. Check it out. You might find yourself making yourself very happy just in time for Valentine's Day to treat yourself.
I hope I don't get pulled over on the way home.
Why?
Because
Are you drunk?
I spilled it
Oh, you
all,
got
but
it on
I
your
popped
shirt.
it. It
Yeah,
went
it's
all
over.
over me.
It's
Yeah.
over.
Step out of the car, Mr.
Yeah.
Davis.
Have you ever been given a breathalyzer?
No.
I'm trying to think if I think.
Well, that's never going to happen.
Flounder,
Yeah.
have you ever been pulled over and given a breathalyzer? I'm trying to.
Pleads a fifth.
Yeah, well, in high school, me and my buddy went to Athens to watch a basketball game, and we were drinking. And on our way back, I got pulled over, and And
Were you driving?
I was driving, and I blew like half a point over the limit. But this was when I was a junior or senior in high school, so this was the mid '90s. So zero tolerance hadn't been in effect yet. So I got lucky.
You were very lucky.
I got
high school kid.
Yeah, that's it. I got I got a month probation and some other stuff.
That's how Jeffrey Dahmer got off, because he was in high school when they pulled him over drunk.
Yeah,
With
but that's the
bodies
only.
in the back.
God, I don't think I've ever. I know I've taken one breathalyzer, but I don't remember why or when. And I was sober. I wasn't drunk. But I remember how hard it was. You have to really and take a big deep breath into it.
You had a message here. You might want to check it.
Oh, all right, sir. I've tried to. Let's see what we got here. A message from. Oh, is that my head?
Yeah.
Very funny. A lot bigger bald spot to work with this time. Can you? And by the way, we can't put pictures on Rumble, so you'll have to do
No, it's all video on Rumble.
Oh, can you put it on video? Can you put it on Rumble?
No, because it's not a video. It's just a
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
I'll put it on
okay.
our
Oh, don't worry.
Twitter account.
Well, actually, I didn't put the other picture on Rumble because they don't take pictures, so they wouldn't know what I'm talking about anyway. Although you,
I wish they
whatever.
took pictures, but they don't for some reason.
Well, I know. Let's see. God, we
Stan
got
says
so
he
much-
bought 2 of those pumps for Christmas for his granddaughter called LifeVac.
It's a great idea.
Rocco says Kimmer already has a pump, but it's a different kind of pump.
Different kind of pump entirely, ladies and gentlemen. It says right here in my left breast.
Cowboy says this is like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
And there's more coming. Well, half of them haven't even derailed yet.
Seriously, we haven't got to Valentine's Day
let's
yet.
do it now. Let's do it now. And I got
Alrighty.
UFOs and dog takes. I got a couple of great doggy stories. Miss Manners, a thing out of New Yorker. I mean, we got a hump of stuff. First Valentine's Day. Okay, now Valentine's Day. Are you doing anything tomorrow for Valentine's Day?
I'm going to send one out to somebody because they're having a rough week. And other than that, I'm going to go look. I'm going way up in the mountains to look at a couple of houses tomorrow. In fact, that was a phone call I had to leave because I've been trying to get hold of this lady for like
excellent,
days.
excellent.
So, yeah.
And does this sound a possibility? Sound like a good thing?
Yeah, the only problem is they don't have fireplaces. And I think, who the hell in the mountains doesn't have a fireplace?
Yeah, that's strange.
It is strange. but one has a fire pit and a trout stream, so it could kind of make up for it. You know?
Excellent. A flounder, any Valentine's Day situation for you, sir?
I might go buy myself a steak.
Okay.
I might take
Sit by yourself.
I might take myself on a date and sit at the bar and get myself a
In the
steak.
corner, crystals.
I go. There's a Stony River right here. I'll go to every now
Oh,
and
yeah,
then.
they're
They got a
pretty
really
well
nice
known.
bar, and I'll just go sit up there.
Yeah.
I love going and sitting at the bar by myself. There's
Yeah.
always someone there to chat with. There's the flat screen.
I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. I've been to Ruth Chris, I think, years
that's
ago.
another-
We just
I
sat
mean,
there and had
yeah.
a steak and had something to drink.
We went Friday night. We didn't get dressed up because it's downtown Canton, but it was this nice fish restaurant that we went to. And as we're coming out, these two hot cougars are walking up, all dressed out to go out in the town, everything, not married. And they're walking up, and they smile at me, and I smile at them as they go by. And they went in the restaurant, and the restaurant was packed. So they come back out of the restaurant. They smile at me, I smile at them, and they're walking up. Well, my whole group comes out afterwards, and we go walking up. Well, the second place these girls go to, it's too crowded to get in, so they turn around, and they walk past us again. And they smile at me, and I smile at them. My sister's going, "Stop doing that. I'm going to pick them up." And I said, "I got to go back and get in my car."
Yeah, I
you
said,
know.
where you want to go, ladies?
And we saw them again as we were leaving.
That's
I'll
a
be damned.
sign.
And I was in the back seat of the truck, a big old truck, and she said, "Are you going to wave at him?" Say, "Yeah, that's a good
From
look."
the back seat of the truck with my sister driving. Yeah,
That's a great look. Hey, bitch, I'll be back to pick you up later.
I don't have my own car, but you know.
Hey, good looking.
Yeah, we'll be back to pick
No,
up
my-
you see
no, my
somebody
Porsche's
fly-
at home.
microphone.
Yeah, if you see someone 5 times, you think it's fate. You're supposed to meet these people.
You should meet the girl, said no question about it.
So Friday night, I'm going. No.
I love it.
You should.
All right, roses are red, violets are blue. If he's busy on Valentine's Day, the side chick is you.
Good
Roses
point.
are red, nuts are brown, skirts go up, pants come down.
Yikes.
Body to body, skin to skin. When it's stiff, you stick it in.
Oh, boy.
It goes in dry and comes out wet.
Oh.
The longer it's in, the stronger it gets.
Wrigley's chewing gum, or-
It comes out dripping and starts to sag. It's not what you think. It's just a tea bag.
Oh my God! Well, that's a whole nother thing. Teabagging. Sorry, ladies, don't Google it at work or in front of your husband.
Yeah, don't tea bag. The funniest ones are the dog doing it. When the dog climbs up on top and tea bags you.
Oh God! How about some actual Valentine's Day quotes? Some from possibly famous people. For example, "You can't blame gravity for falling in love." Albert Einstein. "A simple I love you means more than money." Frank Sinatra. We just mentioned Frank Sinatra earlier on the podcast, right? Jilly. "If I had a flower for every time I thought of you, I could walk through my garden forever." Alfred Lord Tennyson.
That's stupid.
"You know you're in love when you can't fall asleep because reality is finally better than your dreams." Dr. Seuss. "Love to me is someone telling me I want to be with you for the rest of my life. And if you needed me to, I'd jump out of a plane for you." Jennifer Lopez. "Love is an endless act of forgiveness." Beyonce. I'll put your shit on the bag to the left. "If you can find someone you love in your life, then hang on to that love." Princess Diana. Didn't quite work for you there, Dee Dee. "If grass can grow through cement, love can find you every time." Cher. "When you're comfortable with someone you love, the silence is the best." Now, let me say that. I would think about that. When you're comfortable with someone you love, the silence is the best. Britney Spears.
Well, that's how you know that you're either friends or with somebody. If you're going to be in the same
Comfortable.
room for 20 minutes and not feel you need to say something, that's when you're truly friends.
Yep. "'Tis better to have loved and beg your pardon. "'Tis better to have lost and loved than never to have loved at all." Ernest Hemingway. I didn't know he came up with that originally.
Yeah.
I thought that was from like biblical times for some reason. I did. I thought it was like from King Solomon or something. Really, from Ernest Hemingway. "Better to have lost and loved than never to have loved at all. I love her, and that's the beginning and end of everything." F. Scott Fitzgerald. "All you need is love, but a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt." Charles Schultz, who's also going to be in the news in a moment.
Yeah.
"Take my hand, take my whole life too, but I can't help falling in love with you."
Elvis.
Elvis Presley. And I love you, baby. Now get in the van. Well, that's just me.
All right. Roses are red, violets are blue. So are your balls because I won't blink you.
Oh, hi, hi-yo.
Roses
Oh.
are roses are okay. Violets are fine. You be the 6. I'll be the.
Oh, my God.
Roses are red. Ignorance is bliss. Rhyming is hard. Show me your tits. Roses are red. Hay comes from seed. Poetry is boring. Let's smoke some weed. Roses are red. Violets are blue. It's going to take dental records to identify you. Roses are red. Lemons are sour. Spread your legs and feel the power.
Oh, my God, man.
Roses are red. Chocolate is brown. Never going to give you up. Never gonna let you down.
Oh, Lordy. I guess we've seen that one. Never gonna let you die. I
And
hate that. Yeah.
Here's the poem from the hood.
All right.
Roses are red, violets are blue. They don't think it be like that, but it do. It's Black History Month. We got
Honoring our friends.
Roses are red, violets are red, daisies are red. I killed the gardener. Roses are red. Blink the rest of this and get in my bed. Roses are red, violets are blue. I have chlamydia, and now you do
So
too.
do you. And happy Valentine's Day a day early. Actually, we're doing a show Wednesday this week, so we'll talk about maybe after
Wednesday?
Valentine's. Wednesday this week.
All right.
And I guess we better remind
Seriously,
him,
I've
Flounder.
already forgotten. You really do
We
need to remind
to
me.
remind you tomorrow. Any other Valentine's Day thoughts of any kind?
Let me see if there's one last thing here. Okay, we'll do it. We'll spread these out.
All right.
Tips to look after your husband
All right.
from the 1950 Home Economics book.
I love these. I love these.
Have dinner ready. Plan ahead even the night before to have a delicious meal on time. This is a way of letting him know that you have been thinking about him and are concerned about his needs. Most men are hungry when they come home, and the prospects of a good meal are part of the warm welcome needed.
I'll guarantee you somewhere in there's a tip that says try to have a drink ready for him when he comes home and maybe his slippers ready for when he comes in the door. And make sure you don't bother him too much. He needs to kind of settle down after a hard day at work.
Oh, here's a good one. Prepare yourself, ladies. Take 15 minutes to rest as you will be refreshed when he arrives. Touch up your makeup. Put a ribbon in your hair and be fresh looking. He has just been with a lot of work-weary people. Be a little gay and a little more interesting. His boring day may need a lift.
There you are. The secret to happiness.
It is.
Well, not anymore. It's not, you can't do the secrets with happiness like that anymore. Can you imagine? Well, I imagine what would happen today if a woman or a group of women saying, we need to bring back the old-fashioned, romantic love and so forth. So we believe we should be doing this, and actually listed the modern version of taking care of your man kind of thing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And in fact, there's a famous black actor who's just getting roasted on social media in the last couple of days for saying that he doesn't want to be considered a black actor. I'm an actor.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a great actor, by the
He
way.
is.
And he said, no, wait a minute. Any more than you should say, I'm a white guitar player. I'm a guitar player. If you're a musician, you're a musician, not a white musician. Well, so he shouldn't be considered a black actor. He's an actor, and they're killing him for it.
don't
How
care.
could you not want to respect your black? And he said,
First,
wait a minute.
He doesn't play by the rules. He's not African American. He's British. He doesn't have to
well,
play by these stupid woke rules.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's out there. You can Google it. We aren't going to play it here today. But Morgan Freeman, one of the great interviews with, was it Mike Wallace on 60 Minutes or something many, many years ago, saying, I don't want a Black History Month.
Did I send that out this
Yeah,
weekend?
yeah.
Yeah. It's,
Now he may have changed his mind since then, but that was that was a long
I
time
doubt
ago.
it. I think he's every time I've heard him speak or address a crowd or talk about something,
thinks it's the dumbest thing.
very, very, very
Fine
simple,
Mississippian.
Just common sense
Yeah.
sound guy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did you see what the King put out yesterday?
Yes, I did. Tom Hughes.
Tom Hughes. For the love of God, Super Bowl planners, keep the blimp in the hangar today. What everybody's saying that this UFO thing is all to distract us. That supposedly the Epstein files are going to come out.
Yeah, that's right. They're supposed to come out this month.
They're trying to distract
The
us.
names.
And they say they're going to do some BS ET invasion, and that we
Yeah.
shouldn't buy it if it happens.
Yeah.
I won't buy it until I see one.
I want to see him. I want to talk to him. Yeah, you want me to come with you? Is that what you're saying? I mean, can I call my kids first, you know?
Would you go?
Yeah, at this stage of my life, sure, why not?
Because they could probably keep you alive.
Well, I mean, if I could call my kids, I would hate to have them just think Daddy disappeared on you and your
How
grandchildren.
about buzz them? Buzz the house.
Yeah, Buzz House would be good. But hell yes, I'd go.
See, I always thought, remember when Close Encounters came out and they were debating whether
Yeah.
they should go or
Whether
not, and
get
some
on
had families and
Yeah,
some didn't.
right.
And I remember at the time, because I was really young, thinking, would I, when I was really young, like 12, I would have. But when I got older, like in high school, I was thinking,
I wouldn't wanna leave
I
my
want to live.
family, yeah.
I want to lead a life
Yeah,
first.
No, yeah. But now, at this stage of my
Now-
life, hell, what a...
Yeah, I got no one to support. The
I'm-
dog's gone. Yeah.
I think of all my ex-wives who would be, just distraught that I was no longer there to be able to...
Can we hit them with the death ray? Can we hit New Orleans with a death ray?
Yeah, circle over. Yeah. Yeah, see if I can remember a little something about the address.
How do you like me now?
Yeah. Who's really a man now when you're thinking about it, all right? Yeah, sorry.
Messiah
We know you thought about that in your life before. I blast the Al Jazeera Constitution all the time. In fact, they did it again today for they're not even covering the latest UFO shot down. But they had a very large story over the weekend why teachers are worried about Chat GPT. And in fact, they quote, do an interview with a teacher at Georgia Tech, a professor who says if you use Chat GPT, the artificial intelligence program, they can spit out sophisticated essays instantaneously and explain complicated concepts and tackle other tasks. She said, if you use it, I'm not going to be able to detect you. You're going to get away with it scot-free. But if you cheat in this class, it's bad karma. Don't do it. And the teacher, they all know they can. There's no way they can detect it. They can assume, but unless they grill you.
They grill you.
Now, when I got my master's degree, guys, is this worth doing or it sounds stupid? In order to study for my master's degree, it was a written thing, a thesis thing. But I had to take it was either a 2 or 4 hour oral exam about everything that could be studied in your curriculum. So I went to study, prepare for it. I went to the library and I was in communications. I took every issue of Broadcasting Magazine, Public Opinion Quarterly, Columbia Journalism Review, Public Opinion, something or other, all these periodicals, and I took every month in the library and took notes on every chapter for every month for 10 years. I swear to God. It took me, I did this constantly. And I wrote them down, and when I write things down, I remember them better. So what I was doing is taking notes on all these periodicals for 10 years and wrote them down in my little notebook to study them for him. When I got to the oral exam, the guy asked me a question based on one of the articles in one of the periodicals, and he got it wrong. He said, in the article of Public Opinion Quarterly in November of they made the point that the president was really trying to do so-and-so. And I said, no, that's not the point at all, because I remembered it, because I had written it down, and I actually remembered it and challenged him on it, and he realized that he had made... Anyway, so that's the effort I had to put in to study to get my master's degree with this. It was either 2 or 4 hour oral plus a written thing. And now you could, if you're taking a written thesis, you can do it in 12 or 15 seconds and no one's ever going to know, or they can't prove it unless they give you an oral exam. And that, that maybe, I guess that's why they used to do it back in the 70s.
I have a buddy who works pretty high up in the private school system here in Atlanta, and he says it's a big problem.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's got to be I mean, how are you supposed to deal with it?
I mean, how do you get the resources to actually challenge it?
Well, the only way you can do it is to give in-class tests.
And you don't have time to do
Well,
that.
that's the other thing I was about to say. You're going to have to go up to the board and explain what you're talking or what you're referencing.
No one's got time for that.
Yeah, well, you're going to instead of it used to be they passed out the blue books and the questionnaire, and you sat there in class and took the test.
I hated that.
Is this one of the key phases to the downfall of the public education system?
Jordan Peterson says it's going to put colleges out of business. Some of them.
Well, and some of them should go out of business, especially charging $60,000 or $70,000 a year.
Yeah.
And
colluding with the government to jack them up.
I'll tell you what. And again, when the government says, by the way, we're going to we'll give away the student loan forgiveness thing, so the colleges just raise the rates knowing they're going to get paid.
Yep, that's why it happened.
Duh. Who didn't figure that out? If I were a parent and I
Democrats?
had a 15-year or 16-year-old kid right now in school now thinking about college in 2 or 3 years,
Oh my God.
I'd say, okay, we really need to figure something out here because
They better get a scholarship.
anyway, wow.
By the way, supposedly the files, some of the names have been leaked. Of course, we
The
knew
Jeffrey Epstein?
Dershowitz and Prince Andrew. But the Daily Mail is saying Wednesday they're going to try and put them out Wednesday.
Wow.
So we'll see.
Now, these are the names of people who went to visit him. Are these names of people who got caught on videotape having sex with young girls?
I don't know.
And apparently Ghislaine Maxwell says there was video of everything everywhere.
Well, of course,
That everything was so there's video of old people having sex with a 17-year or 16-year-old girl.
They Errol Flynn to everybody.
That's what we need to know. We don't need to know who traveled on his island because Alan Dershowitz. I saw him interviewed and he said I went there with my family 2 or 3 times. So I didn't do anything wrong. I was there with my family, but I went to Epstein's island. I did. I admit it.
So you have to figure. So the flight log doesn't mean
Yeah,
crap.
that doesn't
then.
mean anything, really. I mean, Clinton went there like 20 times, so that chances are it wasn't to talk business every time, But again, that you need to prove who was having sex with young girls if you want to make a federal case out of it. Now, again, let's say that they have video of Bill Clinton. That's not what I meant. If they have video of Bill Clinton having sex with a 16-year-old girl, and it's on video, did he break the law to be charged? Can he be arrested?
Well, is it technically Florida?
I don't know. I don't know where it is. I also don't know whether they can prove.
Is it right off the coast, or is
I
it
don't
3
know.
miles off? The
I don't
coast?
think it's international waters. I think it's a Florida residence. But again, if you see evidence of a 60-year-old man having sex with a 15-year-old girl on video,
Well, if she's
from
under
15
17
years
yeah,
ago,
I think so.
can the police take that and make a case to go to arrest the guy because they say we saw you on videotape? We know it was taken on September 10th of whatever year.
What's the statute of limitations?
I don't know.
In Florida,
For rape?
of underage or whatever.
Yeah, for
I don't
statutory rape.
know. I don't know.
Or indecent liberties with a minor, even things like that. There are a lot of different
You
possible
seem to
charges.
know a lot of the
I know a lot of the
terminology here.
charges. It's, I mean, if I was
vernacular,
a newsman,
the
newsman
jargon.
to cover the news all these years.
All right, you know what the funny thing is? I probably shouldn't have done this, but I went to Google to ask the question.
Uh-oh.
Stat of limitations for rape in Florida. Immediately it says help is available. Call 1-800-656-4673.
Oh, God, they're going to get you now.
Oh, by the way, this is the greatest thing to do tomorrow. This is what you're going to do tomorrow night, Flounder, at Stony River. You listening? You find someone who looks like they're having a romantic Valentine's Day's dinner. Okay? You saunter up to that table and you look at the woman, or
woman?
the guy, and you say this. Oh, so this is why you're not answering. Just the look on their face.
Hey, answer your phone, will you?
So, this
Been
is why
trying to
you're
call
not.
you, Answer email in the own fay. Eat me, uye, adele.
And film it while you're doing it. Huh?
That would be very amusing, I must say. Oh, Lordy. Should we do a couple of quickie newsy things?
Couple quickies?
Well, I'm just thinking.
We were having so
I do
much
have 2
fun.
doggy stories I want to talk about. What the hell is this here? Apparently there's more evidence now that the Secret Service, in fact, was colluding with the Biden family over Hunter's episode where his lover, who happened to be his dead brother's widow, he was having an affair with, took his gun that he left at the house, and she was afraid because she was a drug user and an alcohol abuser, and she was afraid. She found his gun, was afraid for the kids because she was afraid she'd do something bad, so she put it outside on top of a trash can and outside of a supermarket in Wilmington, Delaware in 2018. Hunter claimed the Delaware cops found the gun. The FBI and Secret Service got involved. Apparently, the new documents show that the Secret Service denied it was involved in any way, but they took care of everything and covered it all up. And the records show that when someone said, gee, why would the Secret Service be involved in an investigation when the Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were not receiving Secret Service protection at that time? 2018, he was a private citizen.
Right.
Secret Service had nothing to do with him. And yet the Secret Service took care of everything and hid the investigation, hid everything else. And one official in the Secret Service responded when someone questioned, saying, maybe we were asked for a favor? Yeah. I mean, this is all in black and white now. This is more black and white written down information. One specialist said, gee, it's kind of odd we were involved in a missing gun investigation when neither one of them was involved with getting Secret Service protection. Another official wrote back, oh dear. I mean, here we go. I mean, again, now it's the Secret Service, the FBI, the CIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the Director of National Intelligence. I mean, every single one of them. The three-way text messages with a therapist and Hallie Bunny wrote, she stole the gun out of my trunk, threw it in the garbage can on the top of the thing. When the police and Secret Service came on the scene, she took it because she was scared. Daily Mail revealed several instances where Secret Service agents appeared to be providing protection to the Biden family, one time after another. Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
Again, more proof. How about a couple of happy doggy stories? One of them is the story of a shelter dog in Texas, a rescue dog, was adopted, and her new owners lived 10 miles away from the shelter. Well, all of a sudden, on some Ring doorbell video, 1:15 in the morning, they see and hear a dog ringing the doorbell of the shelter. It was the dog named Bailey, who was given the new home 10 miles away, who ran away and somehow found her way 10 miles away back to the shelter, 1:15 in the morning. She rang the doorbell and was barking outside the door of the shelter door. The group and its adoptee didn't know the husky mix was made the 10-mile journey through busy intersections. Took her 2 days to get back to the animal shelter using the map in her nose, apparently. She rang the doorbell. The founder of the Shelter League said the Ring camera kept going off and off and off and on and off and on and off. And you see the video of the dog running out there and sitting down. She went boom right up to the camera like, I'm here, time to come in. And they let her in, got her. She slept the whole night, the whole next day. She got her breakfast. She's still resting. She had been 3 days without food and water, making up for the rest, but they took her back. She got her new home, and she's fine, and everything is okay. So, but again, I guess she was just scared and didn't understand what the deal was. Another doggy story, which warms my heart a little bit, and it's a little more bizarre. This was going on in the desert in Nevada. A white dog had been spotted many times for months and months in the desert in Nevada. A puppy, which people in the area assumed was left for dead, just abandoned from somebody driving through the area. Yeah. And this white dog was spotted living among a pack of coyotes that accepted him. They figure that coyotes accepted the dog. He may have been out there 7 or 8 months, according to what people have seen. They tried to trap him. They see this white dog and a bunch of coyotes running with them, eating with them. But then the neighbors, not really neighbors, but people who were in the area, noticed the white dog started limping, and they were afraid that the coyotes would turn on him. If he showed weakness, they might kill him. So there was a trapping team that got some tips on his whereabouts in the Henderson, Nevada area. That's outside of Vegas, about 15 miles from Vegas. They spent several days trying to rescue the pup. They finally lured him. They called him Ghost. They lured him into a crate with food. When he got into the crate, he just sat down. He is taken to human affection, although he's a very sweet, loving dog. They say he comes up and wants to be petted and be held. They hope to find him a home, and he's going to be a great dog because, like most rescue dogs, they're so grateful to have a new family, but he needs medical attention after living with the coyotes. He's had a bunch of fights. He has cuts all over his face, bruises, and slash marks over his face and body. He has an infection in his ear, a broken toe has to be amputated, an eye infection. They're going to have to take off his testicles, and he's got some rocks in his belly because he was probably hungry and ate anything. So they're going to watch those hopefully pass if they don't have to have more surgeries. In the meantime, they're trying to prep him to go to another eventual home because he's They want to get him crate trained and leash trained and potty trained. And notice he has trouble sleeping at night, and he's nervous and paces all the time in the evenings. Well, living with coyotes. I mean, they got to now get him to a more natural living style, but they've saved him.
You know what his name has to be?
What is his name now?
Wile-E.
Wiley. I think he with the Coyotes.
Got some breaking news.
Breaking news.
MLB has said the ghost runner in extra innings is now permanent in the regular season. I guess not in the postseason. So it's permanent.
Oh, really?
keeping
Okay. When they put a runner on second, you mean?
Yeah, I
For
guess it's
extra
all
innings?
right.
I agree. It should be in the playoffs, though.
Yeah,
Shouldn't
but
be
it's
in the
not
playoffs.
baseball.
I know, but, the attention span
It's
of
like
these
the mercy
idiots.
rule. You don't have a mercy rule in pro sports.
I know.
All right.
And Conrad Dobler has passed away.
no, God, my God.
72.
Conrad Dobler.
The dirtiest man.
He was called, Sports Illustrated labeled him the dirtiest man in pro football, or in sports. So he was the dirtiest
Jeff
man
Van
in
Note
football.
said the things that he did.
Conrad Dobler, at the time they mentioned this, I believe, was playing for the New Orleans Saints. He had been with St. Louis, I think, where he
The
made
St.
his
Louis
reputation.
Cardinals, yeah.
He went with the Cardinals, where I think he got his reputation.
Yeah.
And then in the 70s, remember, I spent a couple years in New Orleans in the mid-70s doing as a TV anchorman and also as a radio
Really?
As a radio
You
host.
were on TV in New Orleans?
Thank you.
Because you've never brought that.
Thank you. And I was also the radio guy where we had the thing on my head. But also, for one of the seasons there, I was the sideline announcer for the New Orleans Saints. And I would introduce the halftime people. And now here they introduce the players. Number 64, the right guard. So that was me on the sidelines.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then I go up to the press box and watch the game. Anyway. Among other things, Conrad Dobler was at that point playing for the Saints. And this was after he'd been labeled the dirtiest man in football. He was playing for the New Orleans Saints. And I was also a TV anchorman for Channel 6 WDSU. And we hired him as a commentator on the set with our sports guy. So Conrad Dobler, who was on the set with, by the way, I got to meet Conrad Dobler. If you look at me, if I stand up here now,
He's standing up.
My whole body thing. At the moment, I weigh less than 200.
You weighed less than 200 pounds, he says, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm like 5'11".
5'11".
I weigh a little less than 200 pounds. But when I was with him, I weighed a little over 205 or something like
Yes,
that.
sir.
But that's what I look at. Conrad Dobler weighed 270, but he didn't look much bigger than I did. I remember looking at him and I said, what do you weigh? He says like 268. I said, you got to be kidding. I mean, he looked like almost a regular sized guy, which was, I mean, very. But and I asked him. I said, he said, well, once in a while we'd give somebody the business under there, and a face mask and the eye thing or whatever. But he was a very nice man. I mean, he was very pleasant and charming to be with. He didn't seem particularly bright, but he was nice with me. He wasn't in any way an idiot or a showboat or a big-time jock. He was very pleasant, very nice. I enjoyed talking with him. Anything you wanted, was very nice, just seemed like a nice guy. Did it say how old he was? Would you
72.
Say? 72. My God. Every
What
time somebody
teams?
dies who's younger than I am.
Jim Hart, Mel Gray, one of the Met, was it Terry Metcalf was the son or the father? Which Eric was the one who played for the Falcons. He was the son. Terry Metcalf was the halfback that played. That was they could never get past the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Cardinals couldn't. And
Yeah.
Don Coryell, who's now going to the Hall of Fame. Eric
San
Coryell,
Diego, yeah.
San Diego State, and the Chargers,
And the Chargers, yeah.
and the Cardinals. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, well, it's too bad. Conrad Dobler, I'm sorry. Did I say what the cost was or anything? 72 is fairly young these days.
I know, it's amazing.
Wow.
Just go-
Speaking of medical things.
Is that what we're going with?
No. Just a quick thing on medical things. You ready for this?
Or-
The Florida High School Athletic Association.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the high school athletic people in Florida have now removed questions on their medical forms for students to play sports in Florida. If you're under 18 or whatever, play sports, you have to fill out medical forms. The Florida Athletic Association High Schools has now removed questions which were called humiliating and invasive. And the questions were about the girls' menstrual history. And some people are saying, why would you have to know when a girl has her, if she's having her period, when she's playing soft? It was just there's no need for it. And one of the girls one of the changes said the only reason is to weed out transgender kids who may not have periods.
Good.
So here we go again. After the new law in Florida saying boys play boys sports and girls play girls sports, now they have to make sure they don't put the menstrual thing in the forms to try to get around it that way.
That's true.
Jeez. God. Also, Pete,
Yeah.
you may not like this, my friend. Dark chocolate has had a reputation for decades as a healthy treat. In
Just
fact,
stop right there.
Yep, they say if you have dark chocolate, if you eat chocolate treats, if you're going to have chocolate for a snack, dark chocolate actually helps your heart as nitrates or something and
stuff,
better for you. It's good stuff. Well, not anymore.
Yeah, screw them.
Dark chocolate, research now shows, has unsafe levels of heavy metals. And wondering now how safe these dark chocolate treats are, they tested 28 popular dark chocolate bars from Seattle's Theo Chocolate, Trader Joe's, Hershey, Ghirardelli, even the smaller brands, and found 28 popular dark chocolate bars have unsafe levels of heavy metal.
I don't eat bars. I eat the chocolate-covered almonds.
Oh, well, that doesn't count then. The almonds take away. By the way, did you know that now with inflation, if you drop food on the floor, you get 7.5 seconds to pick it up and eat it, not just 5?
Not just 5.
Also, speaking of...
You all right?
I'm all right now. Confectionery thing. In Pennsylvania, federal workplace authorities have fined the confectionery factory of Mars Wrigley Company. Have fined them almost $15,000 after 2 workers fell into a vat of chocolate. Well, that was where they got the heavy metal.
Willy Wonka.
The workers were not allowed to be in the tanks in the first place, so they fined them for having 2 workers fall into them.
I don't mind them falling in. I mind that they don't find them for a couple of weeks. You know what gets me? And you hear this about once a year about this happening in one of these food factories.
No.
Bob is every day, shows up on time, does his job. Gosh, last time I saw Bob, he was over there on that crane, or he's walking along that catwalk.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a couple of days.
Yeah.
It never seems to dawn on them.
Yeah,
he's in one of these vats.
Yeah, he's in the vat. Yeah, he's in there. You can't see him because he's in there.
I mean, come on.
He's not coming home.
Are you tired of arriving to surprises at your weekend cabin?
I am. I did last week. I just
Have a mountain home you're having trouble maintaining? I could be that very soon. Call North Georgia Intendancy. We can manage your North Central Georgia vacation, weekend, or rental house so you can relax at yours. Visit us at ngaintendancy.com or call 770-595-6664. That's 770-595-6664, ngaintendancy.com.
again give that phone number because it's kind of hard to remember. Intendancy.
770-595-6664.
There you are. And again, appreciate their being a sponsor here on the Old Kimmer Show podcast. Again, if you'd like to, we're trying to make this show not be pay per listen. In order to do that, we need subscription people. Call it, send us money either on PayPal or Patreon.com, or Venmo's the easy one. Just put
And
your
you can
phone up
get
to the
all of
Venmo.
those at thekimmershow.net.
TheKimmerShow.net links you to everything. Contacting us, reacting to us. Get on Rumble. Again, go to YouTube and sign up for YouTube. Get on Rumble because Facebook killed us, so we're not on The Kimmer Show Facebook page is gone. Podcast Facebook page. Anyway, so that will help us a lot. Okay, couple things. Have you ever heard of coin showers? Do you know what that is? Flounder, do you know what a coin shower is? Talking
Coin
about
shower
weddings?
is new to me.
I frequently have a Dear Abby columns that I think are kind of amusing or interesting. Well, there was one in Miss Manners who is a little too uppity for me, a little too foo-foo, but she's interesting. I read her once in a while. Judith Martin, called Miss Manners. And someone wrote in and said, Dear Miss Manners, how can I politely send regrets to an invitation to a coin shower without feeling obligated to send a contribution? I plan to give a cash wedding gift as the couple requested. Dear gentle reader, she goes on and on. A coin shower. Have you ever heard of a coin shower? She wrote, Dear reader, coin shower? And this, Miss Manners is to understand, is only the warm-up to the cash tsunami that is obviously coming. How charming. So she kind of make fun of it. A coin shower is asking for money instead of gifts during your wedding parties and events. It used to be taboo. Now it's not. Today, money, funds, and honeymoon cash contributions are some of the most popular registry items. Now, brides will also register what they want at stores, which is the same thing, saying, I want you to get me this, this, and this.
I don't have no problem with it. It's much easier just to give them
Give her
an
the
envelope
money.
of money.
I was
instead
going to
of
send you $50. I'll bet you can use the cash toward your honeymoon or a down payment on a house
Having to
more
go
than you can
look
use
for
some
something.
new slippers or the coffee pot.
Yeah.
Asking for money instead of gifts is perfectly fine. But now there's a thing called starting your bridal shower cash fund hassle-free with Braid, BRAID. You and your betrothed may have lived together for years, don't need to upgrade your home, have a small space, won't fit anything, don't need that kind of stuff. Creating a registry for presents may feel awkward, but it's a big help for the family. But asking for money gifts has become the norm. It's not rude to include honeymoon funds or just regular spending cash on your registry. A money pool app like Braid is a great way to collect cash contributions seamlessly. You can share your dedicated pool link with your guests. They can send money to the bridal shower gift pool straight from their smartphone. You get to keep all the money gifts you collect with no added fees. You can tell guests how to use the cash, ask your bridal party to spread the word, set up a
I got no problem with that.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds well, I mean, it's in fact, for my younger daughter's wedding, I sent her cash. I sent her the cash. Of course, that was, I'm father of the bride, so I paid for it anyway. But still, that was 10 years ago, whatever. But I think I don't have a problem with that. It's everything that used to be tacky is no longer tacky because everything's different. And if you're not,
Well, our culture is tacky now.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely, I don't think.
I think you have more of a realistic generation than an
Yeah.
optimistic generation.
Can I read an amusing story out of New
tacky.
Yorker?
Or tacky.
Yeah. Yes, you may. You may do that.
Out of the New Yorker. Oh, and I just lost my other place here too. There was a funny.
You get
crap! I
one-
can't
one
believe it.
story.
No.
Of course, those stories go 14 pages.
Well, no. This was not like that. As bad as that. Where the hell
Did you
was
read
it?
that one in the other New Yorker about Netflix and the behind the scenes, the woman who runs Netflix?
Yes.
It was a
yes,
fascinating article.
Yes. And
Good looking woman, too.
oh, maybe it was a different. Okay, anyway, here the story is they have a guy named Bruce Handy, who's like that guy that you like,
Jack Handy.
And this may be related, but his name is Bruce Handy, and he does little kind of satirical. Cynical, jovial little art pieces, and I won't read the whole thing on this because it's too long. But have you ever seen Nicole Kidman and doing her latest commercial? She does a whole bunch of commercials for AMC movie theaters, I guess, and apparently she's famous for saying, "We come to this place for the love of life," or something like that. She's very famous for it, apparently. That I didn't know, but apparently she is. Well, so this guy, Bruce Handy, wrote an article called Nicole Kidman Comes to More Places. And it's like a script of what her daily activity is. And I just mentioned a couple paragraphs of it. The Oscar-winning actor and pandemic AMC spokesperson is pressed into further service. Quote, "We come to this place for magic. Walks through front door, smiles with knowing anticipation. And for envelopes, for the magic of envelopes. We come to Staples to laugh, to cry, to care, because we have an abiding passion for office supplies. All of us." Conspiratorial nod. "That's indescribable feeling that we get when we walk down the filing aisle and run our fingers along a 24-pack of 3-tab manila folders." That was when, okay, it goes on. And then,
Is there a funny one?
well, hold on. "We come to this place for wings." Walks through front door, smiles with knowing anticipation. "We come to Buffalo Wild Wings to laugh, to cry, to eat wings, wings, and more wings, because we need that, all of us." Winks at tables of guys going, "Hey, Oscar-winning actor Nicole Kidman, what are you doing at a Buffalo Wild Wings in Lansing?" That indescribable feeling we get when the waitress drops a party-sized platter of wings in front of us with sides of original buffalo sauce and hell's a poppin' habanero. We go somewhere we've never been before. Okay, last thing. He goes on and on, but the last part. "We come to this place for pyrotechnics, and or sex toys. Walks through front door, smiles with knowing anticipation. We come to Rocket Rick's, the largest fireworks emporium and adult superstore on I-80 in Pennsylvania, to laugh, to cry, to find the best deals on cherry bombs and French ticklers in the greater Puxatawney metropolitan area. Because we need that, all of us. Gracefully sidesteps DVD display featuring Doing the Ricardos. Well, not me per se. I'm using we in the same sense that waiters do when they say, are we ready to order? Are you still working? Meaning you. You come to places like, oh, I'm actually in a studio in Culver City in front of a green screen, knocks over the lights and says, do you begrudge me staying home? How many more places must I come to this year? Isn't it enough I've entertained you in movies across them for 3 decades now? Days of Thunder, The Hours, The Aquaman. Anyway, it goes on. It's making a thing about Nicole.
You made a big impression on the audience here with that
Sorry.
segment. Rocco says, I guess you had to be there.
It was amusing.
To
This
you.
is literature.
I like the cover, though.
And again, there's some yeah, the doggy, little Snoop. Anyway, and how about a bad day in history? Speaking of Valentine's Day
Oh, God,
stuff,
you're going to read more to us.
I got one more
thank
reading
God.
thing. Well, this is actually the story of Captain Cook. Now, I know you know this because you're an historian guy. Flounder, do you know who Captain Cook is? Captain James Cook?
I know Captain Hook.
Close, very close. Almost the same thing. I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's a little too long a story, but I just the beginning and end. Captain James Cook, widely acclaimed as the greatest sea explorer of all time. Famed expeditions, including the 1770s, he and his team sailed vast uncharted distances, Pacific Islands, the Arctic, the Antarctic, mapping and generally reshaping what Europeans knew of the entire world. His voyages and west-northwest passage discovery came to an abrupt and brutal halt in Hawaii. They found safe harbor at Kalia'aliowalikukahakahakahaka Bay.
You have to do all the
I
vowels.
might have mispronounced that. They got into the safe harbor at Hawaii's Big Island, and the natives approached them with adoration. And the reason was what second lieutenant aboard the ship didn't know and reported later was that the arrival of Captain Cook at the Hawaiian Bay coincided with an annual religious observation during which the god Lano, peace and plenitude god, gained a brief period of ascendancy over the warlike deity Ku. Thus, Captain Cook was regarded as the physical incarnation of Lano, the good god, and they describe now as a very abject, slavish manner. Commonality shrewd their respect. I don't know what this means, but they treated them like kings. They basked in their hospitality, all the women and food and everything they wanted. Well, eventually, the Captain Cook had to depart to continue the expedition. He set sail for sea, but he didn't get very far, and a mast broke. Yeah. So he had to turn back to the island. When he turned back to the island, the people thought that was a threat to the good god, and so they assumed that he was therefore now the bad god. So they turned on him. They threw rocks at him when he showed up. They threw rocks at him. They exposed their naked backsides. They mooned him. They stole everything they could from his ships and his stuff and his supplies. They treated him like crap. The second in command, he said, every day they produced more numerous and more audacious depredations by the people. Finally, the British tried to retaliate with firepower, but on February 14th, 1779, the locals seized Captain Cook and 4 Marines guarding him, clubbed them, held them underwater until they died, dragged their corpses away to the interior, subjected them to an ordeal that included cooking and stripping them of their flesh, distributing the meat to the various local chiefs, and then the chief gave a bundle wrapped very decently to the survivors, covered with a spotted cloak of black and white feathers, which we understood to be a mourning color, to be in mourning. They opened it and found the captain's hands, which were well known from a remarkable cut, the scalp, the skull, thigh bones, arm bones, and hands had little flesh on them. They were cut in holes, salt crammed in, leg bones, lower jaw, and feet remained of anything that had escaped the fire. And that's what they gave back the remains of Captain Cook after they slaughtered him when he was their hero months before.
His name was Captain Cook.
Captain Cook.
So they cooked him.
You asked for it, and now you've gotten it.
It's Herbie Hancock. Huh? You don't remember that from the Tommy Boy movie?
Oh,
It's Herbie Hancock.
Tommy. That was
Instead
a
of
funny
John
movie.
Hancock.
That was a funny movie.
What'd you do to the car?
What'd you do?
The door.
And the deer wakes up in the back seat.
Hell yeah, that was funny. Yikes. Let's see. A couple of birthdays of note here.
All right.
Stockard Channing. I never liked her as an actress. She was on The West Wing.
all
And
right.
she was in that movie where
Grease.
an ugly girl got back when she became pretty and she killed a guy.
Yeah, that was good. Grease, she was known
Grease
for.
was in Grease.
What did you think of the John Travolta ad yesterday? There's the two guys from Scrubs, and they're singing, and all of a sudden Travolta's there, and they're singing a song, I guess, from Grease.
I don't know if I saw that one.
Huh. It was all right.
If I saw it, I don't remember it. Stockard Channing is 79 today.
Mm.
Jerry Springer, 79. Jerry Springer, remember how he got started? Yes, I do. Jerry Springer was a city councilman in Cincinnati.
He was the mayor.
He was a mayor, and when he was a city councilman, he had to quit because he got caught in 1974 patronizing a prostitute. And he paid her with a check. Yeah. My God, man. Peter Gabriel, the singer, 73.
He looks rough, too.
Yeah. Mina Suvari, remember her? 44. She was in American Beauty, played the little teenage friend of the daughter.
Did you see the one with God?
She's in
Did
a-
we talk about Alicia Silverstone?
Yeah.
how
And again,
she looks better
didn't,
now?
I didn't see that ad, though. I can't believe I missed it.
Well, anyway, go on.
Mina Suvari is 44.
Damn.
Kim Novak. Hey, she has a boy's name. That's what everybody say. Your name is Kim. Oh, Kim Novak. You got a girl's
Let
name.
it
That's what
go,
the one they would always
let
say.
it go.
No, well, she's 90
Wow.
and still alive.
Amazing.
Connecticut Senator Da Nang Dick Blumenthal, the scumbag who got caught more than once claiming he was a Vietnam veteran, some big-time Charlie veteran hero, never went to Vietnam. He's 77. Randy Moss, Hall of Famer, 46 years old today. And Mike Krizzy Ziziskis, Whiskey is 76,
Krzyzewski.
famous Duke.
Everybody-
His name, I know, it's a funny. His name is Mike Krzyzewski, and it's
You want me
spelled...
to, no, let me do it. KRZYZEWSKI.
Yep.
It's very
Krzyzewski.
easy to spell.
Yeah.
Crazy Zewski.
Crazy Zuski. And why they got Shevsky, I don't
It's
know.
Polish. Yeah. How they do
But it's a Crazy Zuski, Crazy Zuski. And he is 76. Is he still? I thought he retired.
He retired last year.
Yeah, I thought so. 76 years old. Let's see. A couple of historical notes here for you. 1935, Bruno Hauptmann was convicted of kidnapping and murdering the Lindbergh baby, and they executed him for it.
Did it.
The year 2000, the last original Charles Schulz Sunday Peanuts cartoon ran in newspapers on this day. The creator of Snoopy and Charlie Brown, Lucy, Pigpen, and all his friends died the day before the last column ran in the year 2000. We just mentioned him as one of his Valentine's Day phrases. A little
He was a
chocolate doesn't hurt
genius.
either. Yep. He was way ahead of everything.
And I don't know if he's a nice guy, but he was.
I haven't heard a lot of bad things. I really haven't heard anything, unless it was some of those hidden kind of things. 1974, I'm going to ask Flounder a question about this. The Symbionese Liberation Army released a demand: if you want to see kidnapped heiress Patty Hearst ever again, every needy Californian shall be given $70 in food, which would cost California $400 million. Patty Hearst at the time was 19 years old before she became Tanya, kidnapped by the so-called Symbionese Liberation Army. Now, Flounder, let me ask you this.
Shoot
Do you
away.
even know the name Patty Hearst?
The name sounds familiar. I've heard the name, but I forget what.
Really,
which-
I don't have any. And you're like 42 or something there?
44.
Why should he?
Well, he should. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, I know it's just stupid. I get a kick out of the fact that you can tell by certain things in history where the difference started happening.
That was blown out of proportion from day one. Just because
who
she
is
was
she?
the
She was an
heiress,
heiress to the
rest
Hearst
of us
Castle.
The rest of us supposed to give a shit?
Well,
who cares?
Well, it's the Hearst Castle, San
cares?
Simeon. Oh my God,
Most
you
people,
are so
I'm telling you
freaking
right now,
negative.
most Americans have no clue what you talk about.
Everybody in the world in 1974 shitting their pants because Patty Hearst was
No,
kidnapped.
not everybody.
Everybody.
Not everybody.
It took front page news off of
I
Vietnam.
know,
It took
but that
front
was
page
the
news
media.
off of civil rights.
That was the media because
my
he was
God.
a media giant
Patty Hearst
and they were
being
rich.
kidnapped was a huge story.
Not to
And-
most people, it
yes, Yes, it was. And then when all of a sudden there was a picture and video in the newspapers the one time when there was a picture of Patty Hearst holding a submachine gun or an AK-47 with a beret, and her name was Tanya when she went over to the Symbionese Liberation Army.
Show of hands, people. Comment here in the comment section. How many of you ever gave a shit that Patricia Hearst was ever
he
kidnapped?
was saying she wasn't ever kidnapped. She wanted to be with him. He was
media
her
made it a big
lover.
deal.
Oh my God.
Most
Oh my
Americans
God.
didn't care.
And then she was a victim of the Stockholm Syndrome, where they kept her in a closet, they raped her, and then she fell in love with her kidnapper because she had to rely on him and so forth, which is it's a real thing. It's the Stockholm Syndrome. And she went them in with a bank robbery, holding a gun and everything else, and stuff. And then eventually she got caught. She got convicted, went to jail, and Jimmy Carter pardoned her.
Gwendolyn,
Yeah.
I didn't care about Patty. Cindy, poor little rich girl.
Oh my God!
Nobody cared. Outside of the media, nobody
A
cared.
bunch of dirty bastards, everybody. Every stinking one of you.
dirty
Yeah, a bunch of dirty bastards. And I've been to San Simeon. I've taken the
It's
tour.
way out of the way.
Oh yeah, I mean you have
Oh,
to
my
get there,
God.
and it takes 2 or 3 hours. I mean you're there all day. It's a thing.
If you had Netflix, you could see the thing that Gary Oldman did a year or two ago, where he's a screenwriter, Mankiewicz, writing Citizen Kane.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And he goes to San Simeon a lot
Yeah.
because he's friends with the wife,
It's an
Marion
amazing
Davies.
story. I mean, really.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean think about it. It's
Rocco,
a castle.
I'm 60. I didn't care.
Well, you had to be in your 70s. It's really kind of dirty bastards. Every one of you dirty bastards. 1945. I guess you don't care about World War II either, do you?
Oh yeah. That's a good comparison.
1945.
Right there. You're right.
British bombers begin a massive air raid on Dresden,
Yes.
Germany. Loaded with high explosive fire bombs, hundreds of bombers dropped nearly 2,000 tons of fiery hell that turned the town into cinders, killing at least many as 130,000 civilians. Poor babies.
I feel bad for the kids.
Yeah.
They had nothing to do
well,
with it.
they'll be in heaven, though, so they'll be fine. 1965, 16-year-old Peggy Fleming
Yeah.
would win the ladies' senior gold figure skating title at Lake Placid, New York. 1965, 16-year-old Peggy Fleming, gold medal, Lake
I
Placid.
mentioned that on my show Friday, and I said, I'm not going to tell the story because we've heard it a few times.
And 22 years later.
Oh, Lord. Sophia says she don't care either. By the way.
Oh, thank you, Sophia. And 22 years later, after she won the gold medal, that same Peggy Fleming would call the Kimmer some of the most vile names
Yes.
and threats in the history of mankind when I had to cancel an appointment we had with her to be interviewed on our morning radio show. And that morning, overnight, we'd had tornadoes, and it destroyed the town, and people were dead. It was horrible, and we canceled all this stuff, and she came knocking on the back door, and Miriam Moed was supposed to go get her to tell her, and she said, I can't, you have to do it, you have to do it. So I went to the back door and opened it with Peggy Fleming and her handler to tell them we can't do the
I
interview.
don't understand the problem here. I said, lady, we just had a tornado go through.
Yeah.
People are
Killed,
dead.
dying.
People don't know where their families are.
They would have
And-
heard it on the news coming in.
And you want us to stop that coverage
Right.
to talk about ice skating.
Right.
And I would have looked her in the eye and said, you tell me whether that's something that should be done. And if she says
No.
yes, I said, get the fuck out
No,
of here.
I was totally amenable, and I was totally apologetic, and she was freaking hell. I mean, Peggy Fleming.
Give me some
you
of the
know,
words.
Beautiful little brunette, gorgeous little dancing little Peggy Fleming. I'll make sure you never have another guest in here. And I go, wow, I'm sorry. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
no,
I'm so
not another
sorry.
ice skating
I
guest.
totally caved to her just to try to do the best I
Oh,
can.
Dick Button. Well, you'll be hearing from Dick Button.
Well, he's doing the triple salchow and the flanging toe loop or whatever the hell. But
his hotel
today,
room.
these days, there would have been a different reception if she had tried to pull that thing on me now. But again, back then, it was 1990 or so, or 88, 80, that was 85 maybe. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, whatever.
Nobody even remembered her in 85.
I know.
Who?
In 1880, Thomas Edison on this day observed the so-called Edison effect for the first time. That was the exhilarating thrill he achieved every time he figured out how to torture animals for fun and profit, especially the big ones. Okay, now we have Flounders told me I've got a couple things here of singing historical notes on the podcast, and Flounder tells me that we can't because YouTube gets angry if we do singing stuff or whatever. So we'll have to do this. Okay, on this day in 1958, Ford Motor Company releases the Square Bird, the Thunderbird with 4 doors and the big squared-off back end of it, bringing luxury to the sports car market. And it was featured in the movie Grease by Round, 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 I get around.
The Beach
I'll
Boys.
Get around out of time by the Beach Boys.
That wasn't in Greece, was it?
It was the 1958 Chevy was featured in the songs by the Beach Boys.
Okay.
It was also featured in Grease. Also on the same day, the Beatles released this double-A-sided song where John and Paul would meet up to go to Liverpool. Penny Lane, ba-down, da-ding, ba-down, ba-ding, ga-dong. And
just a road?
they released, it was a double-sided A-single record.
Yeah.
So it was 2 A
The
records,
barbershop's still
Penny
there.
Lane,
Is it
and
really?
on the other side was
There's a firehouse there that's still there, and the bus stop is still there, and the barbershop's still there.
no, and Penny Lane was what, where their school was? Was that where
No,
their
it was a little place that they would meet to kind of go out to the shops or hang out.
that's where
or
they
do-
take the. And then the other side of the song, well, the other A hit was
Strawberry
Fields Forever, which
yeah.
was named for the Salvation Army house where Lennon would play as a kid.
And that's still there too. The Strawberry Fields
really
is still
cool.
there. Yeah.
I've never been to Europe or
Liverpool's
England.
a
or- Yeah.
cool little city. Actually, it really is.
I would-
the Beatle tour
Yeah.
is well worth it.
Yeah. And one more musical thing. 1972, Led Zeppelin.
That's pretty cool.
What's the matter?
Holy cow.
Led Zeppelin had to cancel a concert in Singapore because security officials would not let the band Led Zeppelin get off the plane. You know the reason?
Where is it?
Their hair was too long. Singapore. They wouldn't let them off the plane to go to a concert. They had to cancel it because their hair was too long. Hey, whatever. You know, that's the place that whipped Thomas Fay or whatever his name
Yeah.
was.
You remember his name? Good
Yeah.
Lord. I don't remember his name. Hey, you know, it turns out when you're asked who your favorite child is,
Yeah.
you're expected to pick from your own. I know that now, Daryl.
You know where the
That one over
That
there.
little 7-year-old across the street. Wait a minute.
you know where the
That can't be
Beatles
good.
you know where the Beatles actually got the mop hot haircuts,
When?
Roy Orbison?
or no, where they got the inspiration from it.
Where they got the I don't know.
Stuart Sutcliffe. He was the original bass player for the
Stu.
band, who
Well,
was an artist.
He was the art.
He was the art
artist.
guy, and his girlfriend
It was
like,
Astrid, the photographer.
Yep, and she said that she cut Stewart's hair, and then she ended up doing
He
Paul
was
and
the cool
John's.
one. He died of brain tumor after he left the band, unfortunately.
be
She
darned.
just died in the last 2 or 3 years. Astrid did. And the movie Backbeat, you ever get a chance, it's
Really
about
good
them
movie.
in Hamburg. It's a really cool little movie called Backbeat.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, I got a bunch of meme things here, but I'd rather see what you
Well,
guys
we've
want
gone
to do.
kind of long today.
All right, well,
actually.
it's two
We're
and a
over
half.
2.5 right
Yeah,
now.
we
We're
have
2.5 right
we have
now.
a special Valentine's Day Bad Text Theater.
That's true. We have that as too.
Well, let's do that.
Well, let me give you a truly tasteless joke of the day. Today,
all right.
since it's African American
You've done several
month,
already, I might add. The Valentine's Day with the pounding of the double dildo or whatever the hell that
you
was.
ain't heard nothing yet. It's February. A black man died and
Yeah.
started up to heaven.
Yeah.
Soon he came across a fork in the road marked by 2 signs. Ignoring the one that read to purgatory, the man followed the road marked straight to heaven and pretty soon found himself in front of the pearly gates. Hang on, pal, cautioned St. Peter. You seem pretty confident that you deserve to go straight to heaven. Just what did you do that makes you so special? I married a white woman on the steps of the courthouse in Mobile, Alabama, replied the man proudly. That's pretty special, conceded St. Peter. When was that? Oh, about 5 minutes ago.
The version I heard was a Harley a guy taking on the Harley Davidson riders. You stood up to a group of gangbangers of the when was that? About 9 minutes ago.
Why does Batman, that mask thing he has,
Yeah, cowl.
why does it only cover half his face?
I don't know.
So the cops know he's white?
Oh, hey, hi-oh. I like it.
That's a good one. All right, so we got a special Bad Text Theater.
Bad texting theater
That is correct,
speciality.
sir. And it's here somewhere.
Just for today.
Right here. As soon as I find it, it's right there. Very last
You
one.
can only find it if you're
All right.
right with us.
All right. It's a man and a woman, their relationship, and they're texting each other.
All right.
and the woman texts the man, and the man answers, "Are you the woman or the man?"
I'll be the man.
Relationship
You'll be the
texting.
man. So I'm the woman. I will start. Since you had so much trouble with the
I had
concept of
trouble.
the first one we
did.
did earlier,
I did.
I am the woman.
All right, and you're
I'm texting him.
and you're in a relationship.
That's right.
And cue him. Here we go. Take
Can I hear a poem, babe?
Okay. Roses are red, violets are blue. A face like yours belongs in the zoo. Don't worry, I'll be there too. Not in the cage, but laughing at you.
Cute. Thanks. Want to see a magic trick?
Sure.
Poof. You're single.
Like I've never heard that before. I love it. All right, don't forget Wednesday show.
Oh, jeez.
Not Thursday, Wednesday show. But put a note in your car or something on your. So when tomorrow when you get in your car,
Yeah,
you-
actually do it.
yeah. So until then, any final thoughts?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
to
Day.
you
We'll
lucky
talk-
people that have one.
In fact, if you want us, can they send us a story? How could they send us a story?
Send us if you have a great Valentine's Day or if you have a disappointing Valentine's Day.
Where do they send it though? What do they do? Type into what?
PeteDavis1@yahoo.com. You can send it.
That'll work.
Send it that way.
If they want to go to thekimmershow.net, can you do anything on
Yep,
that?
there's a message thing there, and they
Message
can
thing?
go there.
Where does that go to?
It goes to your
to Yahoo
Yep.
account. Okay,
Yes.
that's I guess
Yep.
that's the best way to do it.
goes to your Yahoo account.
Excellent. All right, boys. Well, hoorah. Semper Fi. God bless America. Herp and look out. Gotta go. You're killing me. Hey, yo.